Now we are live.
I gotta find it. Hang on.
Yeah, I gotta do that again too.
Gotcha. Howdy, howdy.
Well, it's still showing the old one on mine.
It is?
Yeah, what's going on here? Ah, there it is. I got it.
Got it?
Yeah, but it's still showing on the computer. I guess it's...
What did you do?
You still spinning. Can anybody hear us?
I don't know. Can anybody hear us?
Yeah, okay. They're there. So I must be doing something right.
I was just saying, you're doing it wrong. You told me I was doing it wrong. Sometimes it messes up.
Oh, I got it. I had to hit the play button. I've never had to do that before.
Alright.
Drunk and dangerous? Surely not, Al. You wouldn't do that, would you?
No, of course not.
Not you.
Did you see my halo? Did you see my halo?
Not you, silly. You done jumped on me for that once today. I'm not going to do that again.
Oh my gosh.
All right, can everybody hear? Loud and clear. All good. Ready. Good deal. And in the description, I have posted a link to her channel. I suggest everybody go and watch. She's got a lot of good videos.
Yeah, well, these two that I have from this past weekend won't be up for a while because now I have to charge my camcorder. It won't let me do nothing. It'll take a little bit. Oh yeah, there's my channel. Hey, go to reenactment. Go to reenactment of Boo, would you?
I like this one.
Which one?
With your grandson in the camera.
Oh yeah, he's so bad. He was having fun with that thing upside down. He goes, "Oops, Grandma."
Look at all this. I think it's so cool. You got a bunch of wild horses like that.
Oh, you should see the babies. Oh my goodness, they're beautiful. There's two brand new babies, and they are just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. The one is a shiny, dark brown with a black mane and black boots, and I mean, it is in black tail. It is so pretty.
I think that's so cool. I wish we had him around here. Now, which one was you talking about?
Reenactment of Boo. What I'm talking about, Boo. The mama is over there somewhere. You got to turn the other way.
You want me to play it?
Yeah, once you go to reenactment of Boo.
It's on there.
Right there, second one on the top.
Phone number too, so.
Oh. With Sandy in there.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're on delay.
There you go. I'm on delay. On delay.
Right.
No. Anyway.
Oh boy.
Now we're sitting here. It's just starting to get dark. Not really. There's our fire. Ooh.
Right, hold on a second. Right there, stop.
Sandy. Now.
Yeah.
Okay. You see those two little black things? Oh. Okay.
Is that too far?
Yeah.
Me, Sandy.
Now. Just a little bit.
Hey, Tracy.
What am I looking for here?
Yeah, back towards the beginning because I want you to, or when Sandy walks back there, you can see Sandy in between the two trees. I got to show you something.
Bella. Look at this freeze baby. Look at that.
Looks pretty good.
Look at that poor baby. She's so cute.
Bella.
No, you're not wrong.
What?
You're going to keep snacking, and you're not going to be able to
What
eat
was that?
a hot dog.
Was what?
I saw a light.
I got it.
I'll go back to it.
You would be doing good if you was to be able to eat.
Okay. Hold on.
Oh, it's
Stop,
been
right there.
moved.
Well, you know you're on delay, right?
Yeah, I know.
So I'm sure I didn't stop in the right spot.
Yeah, you got to go backwards. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit it backwards. Where you see those two black things on the ground.
Oh, okay. Right there. These?
Yeah, right there. See those trees right straight ahead from you?
Up here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up there. Yeah. No. Oh, well, it's kind of hard to see there. But straight ahead, there's a clearing. Yeah. If you look above that, there's a clearing, and you can see two trees back behind there. Excuse me. Between those two trees, Sammy and I went there last night and measured, and it's about 5.5 foot between those two trees. And that's where Boo was standing, shoulder to shoulder between those two trees.
Here or here?
Right there, stop.
Right
There you are. Back in the back, the two black-looking trees on the far right-hand side.
Back here?
Nope, further over to the right. Further over to the right, almost to the other. The two black trees.
These two.
Anyways, that's 5.5 feet between those two black trees, and that's where Boo was standing. And he completely covered that in. And we measured to the top of that tree, and it's 7.5 feet. So he's 7.5 feet, a little over 5 foot wide.
Wow.
His shoulders touch those trees on both sides.
Big boy then.
He's a big boy. That's your regular right, Rick. Anyway, so.
Well, this delay is killing me.
What?
The delay kills me.
Oh, I know. I don't know why we have a delay. It just makes me crazy, too. But I have some news.
What kind of news?
Remember? Well, of course you remember me, because that's your favorite story, me telling you about my face-to-face.
Yeah. You already gonna tell?
No, I'm not telling you my face-to-face. I already told you that. Everybody's already heard this story. But what I will tell you is I took Gabriel when we first got there because I wanted to measure to see how tall it was. Gabe is 5'10", and Gabe's head went to the bottom of the window.
To the bottom of the window?
The bottom of the window.
Oh.
And he had to get on his tippy toes to see out the window, see inside the window.
Boo
and my heart went in my stomach.
Boo was probably squatting down too.
This thing was squatting down the face-to-face, and here I thought it was a juvenile. I thought it was a baby. It wasn't.
Big baby.
And I mean, oh my gosh, Rick. And then I had him stand next to the push-out to find out how tall the daddy was, the big alpha. He didn't even come close. He couldn't even, his head didn't even come close to the top of that push-out. So I don't know how tall daddy was, but oh my gosh. So I was freaking out. I mean, literally freaking out. Yeah, Sandy's getting ready to walk back there. She's going to walk to the perfect place if you just let it run.
Yeah, she's getting ready to walk to it, right?
She'll put her hand up in the air, and that is about how tall he was. And Sandy looks like a midget compared to width-wise, and she's a big girl.
How do we know she's not a midget?
Well, all you gotta do is look. So.
Do you have any supporting proof?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so there she is with her hand up.
Yep. No, her hand goes up. Hold on. Oh yeah, literally. Look at that.
Done closed out my magnifying glass.
You see where that branch is up there?
Up here? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, and she's how tall?
She's 5'5".
So add another 1.5 feet to that. So
roughly
7 to the top of her hand.
Right.
And then probably another foot up there.
It's a little over 7 foot.
Yeah. Wow.
So cool. It was so cool. And I couldn't believe how wide. It doesn't look like those trees are very far apart until you go to measure them.
Yeah, it's being there in person and seeing something on video is totally different. That's what.
Oh, well, yeah. But here's the other thing. Because those trees are black, they're so dark, I was wondering, because his shoulders didn't go past those trees, I'm wondering, I should have measured the trees to find out how close he was to it. Skibo, it's in Oklahoma. I didn't measure the actual trees. You know, they're not that big. I'd say maybe
Didn't
6 inches around.
don't you have a video where you think you might have got him on?
Yeah, but I don't remember. Yeah, that was on something shaky, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, so that was number one, the finding out how big they actually were, you know, which kind of wigged me out. But the second thing was Lizzie, we went fishing. We took kids down to go fishing. Of course, we didn't catch anything. But Lizzie picked up some rocks, some really pretty rocks that she wanted to give them. So she comes up to back up to the property, and she goes to the gifting area, and she cleans off the rocks, makes them all nice and pretty. And then she puts them in the gifting area, and with them she puts some leaves or something like that. I forgot what else she put there. Next morning we get up and we get out there, and they're all moved around. And I have that on my video that I'll be uploading here pretty soon. But oh my gosh,
something small like that is so cool. The interaction with them, you know what I'm saying? I love it when stuff's moved around here. And
yeah, I was hoping that the grandkids would be in the great, you know, mood to be able to talk and tell you especially Lizzie, because she's usually so talkative about what she's seen. Because she's seen them a couple of times when I haven't. She was in the house and screamed at me, and I went running in there because I thought she hurt herself, and she said it was looking at her in the window. So I made her stay out there with me, and the cat showed up this weekend too, so I had the kids on my hip. But it was kind of an exciting weekend, but then we got rained out. I got mad. We were supposed to stay till this coming Sunday, but I left. I packed up today and left because they're talking about more rain, and the rain irritates me. You can't go out there when it's raining, and as slick as some of the you know, the inclines are going down to the water, or where I like to go, you know, researching. They're so steep that being wet, you know, we're going to fall, so I don't even bother. And I don't want to have that on top of having to watch the kids.
Right.
We did go out mushroom hunting, and I showed them some new edibles that are popping up, you know, stuff like that. But,
so they're starting to come up there?
Yeah. Yeah, the mullen's starting to come up already, and of course, you know, plantain and stuff like that. And then Lizzie cut her finger, and I told her to use the plantain, and she rolled her eyes. She goes, "Yeah, okay, I'm using weeds, Grandma." And so she rolled the plantain and put it on her cut, and she goes, "Oh my goodness, pain's gone."
Yeah, now I've heard of that one before.
Plantain works really well.
Yeah, it's edible too, right?
Yeah, it's edible, but I don't like the taste of plantain unless it's the narrow leaf. The narrow leaf actually works better medicinally than the broadleaf does. But I don't really like the taste of it. I'm actually looking for the wild onions and garlic this year.
Yeah, they're starting to come up here. The ramps or nothing like that's come up yet. I've got some of those out in my yard that I keep an eye on whenever they come up. I know to go out and look.
Yeah, there's so many wild edibles up there. I mean, I have a lot of area that right where you're looking. That's Boo's favorite place that you're looking at right now.
Yeah, this is the shaky footage he was talking about.
He likes to lay right there, and if you can slowly, or you do it slowly, right dead center, and I mean literally dead center, there's a little black blob back in the back. When you move it, you'll see him actually duck down.
Is it where I got my arrow right now? I mean,
yeah, if you watch that and move the video, he ducks down and he comes back up, and then later down on the bottom there, he crawls up and you kind of see his head pop up. He does it a couple of times. So that's a good video.
Tell me when you see my arrow. Like I said, I know it's on delay, but I think I've got it. I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Is that it right there?
Night, Tracy. Yeah, I don't know how long the video is. I can see your arrow. It looks like you and I are talking on the same time by what you're showing me, but I know.
Okay. Well, I slowed down the speed. We'll watch it.
Yeah. Anyway, so then, what was it, last night or the night before, I tapped on the window. I knocked. This is what I did. just like that on my window. So I knew I could hear him out there walking, and I didn't say anything. And then I, did that again, and they threw something at the window. I was like, hey, don't be throwing stuff, And then my granddaughter
it just got
covered
smaller.
her head because she said, Grandma, she goes, they're here, Grandma, they're here. She's so cute.
Look how big it is right here.
You see? You
Yeah,
see his head?
it's big right here. Now, here in a second, it'll get smaller.
Not smaller. He ducks. He actually.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The spot will get smaller.
Yeah, he actually ducks down. You can actually see him duck down. Then he pops back up again.
As soon as you pan away, and then you go back to it, and it's smaller.
There he is.
Like, watch.
See, there he is.
Now there he goes. He went down.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yep, and like I said, on video it's hard to see, but we're standing there, and I'm standing there watching him.
Right.
And that's the cone part of his head. He's a juvenile, and you can hear, he makes all kinds of noise. I mean, it's like he's telling me, hey, I'm over here, but then he ducks down, or he belly crawls. And when he belly crawls, he's in one spot 1 minute, and I turn around and he's 4 or 5 feet the other direction. But he's right there. You can see he's moving back there.
Yeah, I wish I had one of the old time cameras. It seems like the
There he is.
digital
There he is.
cameras.
Oh, right there's his face. Right there's his face. Oh.
So you're on delay.
Yeah, but you can see his eye.
I'll put my arrow on it.
Masquat's beyond the bushes. If you watch, you'll see his black head, and I promise you, he's there. What you don't see in this video is
Right in this area. Watch this, guys. I'll start it over. Watch this.
Put your arrow just a tiny bit up, and you'll see more of it.
I'm going to leave it here for a few seconds. I'm going to leave my arrow there for a few seconds. All right, right there where my arrow
and then
is.
push, and you'll see him.
Okay, so watch this. I mean, keep eye on this tree's in the foreground, and here's a branch going off, and a lot of brush back there.
Yep.
Which I guess they like to hide behind brush, right?
Oh yeah, that's why I was saying that they make those little piles, and you don't know what those little piles are for, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah, watch, guys. That's what I'm saying. Is right here's the area we're looking at. See that right here. Now watch. It moves. She moves the camera, but whenever she moves, he probably thought, well, she see me and duck down or something, and then he puts his head back up. Watch this.
His head back up, yeah. Yeah, he does. He's that's Boo. Boo's the one that's out there. There he is. Here he is.
See, it's smaller now.
Yeah, and you see the blacks. You see black on two. You can see both of them on the backside. Well, there's a darker tree to the left. It's either the backside of him or I thought it was another one. I'm not sure about that, but I know where Boo is. I can watch him. But look at how small he looks, guys. And let me tell you something. He's not small. He's huge. He's absolutely huge. How the heck can he hide behind that stuff? It makes me nuts. Yeah, I know.
Just popped his head up. He just popped his head. That is so cool.
There he is. There he is. Oh, he's so cute. Anyways, if I look at him too long and he doesn't want me to, he'll toss a little something in the air, and then I have to turn the other direction. But
yeah, I can see movement behind him too. Like I think he's laying down or something.
Yeah, he's either laying down or, like I said, behind off to the left of the screen by that tannish brown tree. You'll see more movement there, and I can't tell if that's his backside or his legs or if that's another one. I can't tell. But when I was looking at him, I was just focused on Boo's face because I could see him.
Yeah.
In a camera like this, you can't see his face, but trust me, when I was sitting there, I could see him. I was laughing. And then I turned around after that, and I got up and walked away. But I always pan back to the same spot, and when I do, you can see that it's completely gone.
Right.
Now, there he's moved. He's moved. Off to the left just a little bit. He does that. And now that, I have had no problems with Boo, or I've had no problems with the most of them. I'm still kind of leery of Big Daddy because he just intimidates the crap out of me. And I will tell you something that happened this weekend, really freaky. I had like, I don't know, like an anxiety attack type thing. My heart was pounding. This was at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, dead quiet. This right before the rain started. And I got this real horrible, my heart, I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I just calmed myself down. I said, what the heck was that? I actually got up to the window and started looking out because I was looking for Big Daddy. I thought for sure he had to be around because it's the only time I've ever felt that.
Was you dizzy or anything?
Huh?
Did you get dizzy?
No.
Like get vertigo or whatever it's called?
No, nothing like that. It's just my heart was pounding on my chest, and I felt, you know, that for lack of better words, like an adrenaline rush.
Right.
That's what I felt. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. But all this shaky footage has the most captures of Boo in it because he follows me around. So there's multiple times, if you really take your time and go to this video, there's multiple times where you'll spot him. And it looks like a black stump that moves because it's not my camera that moves, it's him. I stay still long enough to see him move, and then I move away and come back so you can see he's gone. There he is. That's my perfect spot right there.
Yeah, I watched this before when we talked about it before. I think I left comments in about it. But having you on here and describing it helps to see it. I mean, that's just...
Yeah, there's a rock that I sit at that's when he comes closer. Now, I know it's hard to tell from there, but that is probably no more than, I would say, 50 feet. And when he starts making noise, and this is what's odd, usually when they make noise, that means that you're too close to one, and the one that's making noise trying to get your attention so the other one can move. Well, Boo's opposite. If I'm not paying attention to him, he's going to make noise, so I look at him.
Right.
He's backwards. He does it completely backwards from what I've been told.
Well, yeah, I think they've all got different personality, different traits, and they've got like people basically. I mean, they're all different.
Yeah, they are. Downrange, let me tell you something. If you were sitting there, you wouldn't be saying that. Did you see it? Yo, you see it. And I'm one for looking at videos saying, I'm telling you, it might look like a Bigfoot but I don't think it really is. And then I shut up about that because I never saw the faces that people were seeing. I didn't see any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's hard for me to see stuff.
When I started using the camera to myself, I would see something, but then when I rewatched it, I'd have to tell people or remind myself where it was because you can't see it unless you're there. And sometimes you get a good picture, like I can see Boo in that one because I remember that day. That was fun. But the rest of them, I've had people tell me, look, there's one sitting right there, at this second or this second, and I can see it clearly. And I look and look and look, and I don't see anything. I don't see a thing. But I do the same thing as a lot of people, researchers do, including you. We're talking, and all of a sudden we turn our heads and turn the cameras to a direction because either we feel something or hear something, and we stay there for a couple of seconds, and then we turn the other direction. And other people catch what we were looking at, or when we turn the camera.
Right. If you're looking at them, they're going to stay as still as they can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that we really didn't hear or see them.
Right.
And then when people say, "Hey, I saw you have a booger out there," and we're like, "Where?" And then if you look at it, you turn the camera that direction right when that one moves. So someone saw it when we was looking through the camera. You're just not going to see that.
Right. I'll link that last video in the description too. Somebody was looking for it, but I suggest look in the comments, and there's timestamps in the comments, and then you can go to settings and slow it down. And there's also a magnifier. I've got mine closed out, and I'm not going to bother with opening it back up right now. But if you use
the magnifier, Rick, you can see the hair on the top of his head with the magnifier, which I didn't catch before, but somebody told me that you can actually see the hair on the top of his head.
Right.
And I've never used a magnifier, so well, for a game I did once, but that irritates me.
I can remember how to open mine up. I can never figure it out.
Never good with the camera, but And then I was talking to Sandy, and it'll be on the video, but I was talking to Sandy. And remember I told you that I put that flute out there, and they bit it, so I took it away and threw it in the garbage? You remember me telling you that, Rick?
Yeah. The
Well, they
plastic
took
flute.
it out of the garbage. According to Sandy, they took it out of the garbage because that's what she's been hearing.
Well, maybe it tasted good.
Huh?
I said maybe it tasted good.
Well, she said that for quite a few nights she's hearing a whistle, and it sounded just like the whistle that I had out there. I said, well, that wasn't a whistle, that was a flute, a plastic flute. And so she had me go imitate it with another one I had, because I didn't put the second one out because they broke the first one, and I was afraid they bit it, so I didn't want them to have it, so I threw it away. Well, it's not in the garbage. They took it out. They took that broken plastic flute out, and they're playing with it. So I asked her to use the audio, and go ahead and next time put the audio out so she can capture it, because I'm not there.
I broke out the magnifier. I had to do it.
You had to do it?
I had to do it.
I don't know how you can do that. I can't see anything when you do that.
It does make it, and that's what I'm saying. I wish I had one of the old film cameras. This digital stuff, man, it seems like it sucks for finding these things.
Well, it's really good about if you want to take a really good picture. And there's quite a few times I've looked through the lens and I saw something that might not be pretty to somebody else, but I thought it was beautiful because the background was kind of blurry and the front was real sharp and crisp, and it just made it really pretty. But if I'm looking at something behind all those brush right there, I can't focus on to save my life.
Right. Yeah.
And if I zoom in on it, the whole thing is blurry, and I have to look away to get it back. Of course, it would help if I knew how to use a camera, but this is my first camera, guys. I've never had a camera before.
That's me.
Anyways, I wish Lizzie was awake because, boy, she's got some good stuff going on. There he is. I wish you were able to see me point to it. There, right there. Front and back, right underneath your...
Yeah, it's on delay, so I can watch it from my phone, I guess.
I don't know how to do that. But there he is back there. There he is back there. Yep. Oh, my nose is rubbing.
Yeah.
We got rained out, and I hate getting rained out. I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs.
So you said they moved the rocks around?
Yeah, I'm going to upload that video pretty soon, but they moved the rocks. They moved she put some moss on the rocks. They moved that. Quite a few things. In fact, when I show on the video, you'll see I had her rearrange it the way she put it, and then rearrange it the way that they changed it. And they took the A-looking glyph that they had on the ground, and they moved that. Now the arrow points in a different direction. So I don't know what that means either. But they actually moved that one. And then there's a new tree right behind my RV that's in between two trees, pointing in the opposite direction. Same direction as the glyph is pointing, by the way. So what difference does that make?
It does look like it's got hair on top of its head.
It's got hair on top of its head, yes. You can see it when you get close. I know that this is on delay. I don't know how to do this. But Christine, the night that I saw the one face-to-face, I stopped counting at 9, and I know that there's between 9... Because honestly, as God is my witness, is what I did, guys. When they started walking single file in front of my RV window, I turned my head, I closed my eyes, I rubbed my eyes, I did everything because I thought I was seeing shadows. It was impossible that I had all these Sasquatch walking in front of my... There was no way that they were just walking in front of my window. It was flipping me out, so I kept turning my head, and I'd say 1, 2, 3, oh, no, there's no way. And I'd turn my head or close my eyes and look back again, and 4, 5, 6, 7, I was like, holy crap. And I was like in shock. Why? You had to be there. Good grief, you had to be there.
Yeah.
And there were different sizes, different colors, but not all different sizes, not all different colors. Some of them looked grayish, and some of them looked black, and some of them were They're just look like shadows moving. And you can stare at something long enough, I promise you're going to make shadows with your
I
eyes.
can see him blinking, D.
Huh?
I'm seeing him blink right now. I know it's on delay, and I'm watching from my laptop. I can't see as good on my phone, but it's blinking. Have you ever had anybody look at this?
No.
Do you care if I send it to Bigfoot Tony? Let him check it out.
No, I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but I don't know enough about this stuff. Like
Yeah,
I said,
I mean, I know
what
him.
I'm
I've
doing
got him
out
on
there.
Messenger.
But I really think I have about 11 of them on my property. I think that's how many is there. Between 9 and 11. I can't tell you. I really can't tell you. All I know is that night, I think I was in shock because there were so many of them.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the problem with the cameras. If you get stuff up close like this, it tends to focus on it. And these guys get in behind this brush. See how it's focusing and everything in the background's blurry? And,
yeah.
I mean, it throws your camera off. I would like to just have a camera where you can sit there with your hand and focus in on the stuff in the back. You know what I mean? Like the old type cameras. I wished I had one of those.
Yeah, well, there's a researcher out there, and he uses something else on his camera, and you can see stuff far away really close. I don't know who it is.
Well, I'm sure they make a lot better cameras than my $400 camera, but.
Yeah, Grace, my property is in southeast Oklahoma.
Yeah, Bigfoot Tony, he can do some good stuff with videos. I mean, that's who I send mine to if I think I got something.
Well, Corey, on another one that Corey got onto, and he was looking at it, and you could see the eyes blinking on that one too. And I said, no, I think that's brush. He goes, no, it's nice, it's eyes. I said, no, I think it's brush. He goes, no, it's eyes. I'm telling you. And I'm arguing with him, but then I remembered also that you're looking at it. I know it's delayed, but you're looking at it right there on the ground, just a broken down tree, just laying on the ground. They pile up leaves and branches around those little piles, and they lay there. They lay there and watch.
That's like I call them human observation posts. That's what they did here. The trees fell that night. The next day, all the branches wasn't there. Then the next day after that, they've added a lot to it. They're blinds. They're just human observation posts. They do it out in the woods, what I call kill boxes. They'll build a blind there. I mean, they're masters at it. They know, to get behind stuff. They definitely know.
Boo is so dark. He's so black that it's hard to miss him, especially since when I'm panning like I do, he pops up right in front of my camera. He'll actually pop up. Either he pops up or he pops down, one of the two. But see, it's clear. I mean, to me, it's clear looking back there at him because he ducks down. I mean, play it in real time. He ducks down. You can't miss it. And so I start, if you listen to the audio, I said, oh, there you are, looky here, or something like that, because I watched him, duck down.
I can play it. I mean, I can turn the audio on.
No, you don't have to. And then there's another video that's the same thing, but I'm on the opposite side of the RV. Now, this is behind my RV. That sounds pretty far from my RV. I walk down there and show him this big rock. It's my favorite rock.
Right, and it's pretty remote where that place is. I mean, y'all don't have electric or water or anything, right?
No, there's nothing up there. Sandy just paid to have them put a pole up there by hers, and they said it'll cost us like $7,000 to pull from her pole all the way up to ours. But
what?
I'm not interested right now in electricity or anything.
You'd be better off to get solar. You'd be better off getting solar.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, for $7,000, shoot, yeah. Plus, what you save a month.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we can get satellite up there because there's people on the other foothill on the opposite side of us that are a little bit lower than ours. I think we're 600 feet above sea level, and they're 660, and they're 5 something. And they said they get perfect. They're on YouTube and stuff like that. So I know I'll be able to get it. It's just getting up there. My scrubs, God willing, they make it. Then I'll pack up lock, stock, and barrel and move them to Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a nice piece. I mean, I've seen it on the map or whatever. That's a nice place you go.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of underbrush there, and I kind of wish I could get rid of some of it so stuff could grow. But I'm the type of person like that on that backside there. Just leave it the way it is. I've got plenty of room up front to mess with, but let all that stay just the way it is and not bother with it. But I threw out some seed today, or yesterday, I threw out seed, and some of it, the last time I threw it out, is starting to grow, so I know it can grow out there. And I'm hoping I'll have a Bigfoot garden. You know, it's about maybe 100 yards away from my RV, so they're not coming right up to it or thinking I'm feeding them. But when it grows, they can pick it themselves, you know.
Well, I did that one year here, and they messed with it. I'm thinking about doing that again this year. I didn't do it last year. I did it the year before. I did that, and I'd like to do it again this year. Like I said, I didn't do it last year, but it was interesting. Yeah, they definitely got in it. Then last year, whenever I didn't do it, they got in my garden, so I'm gonna put one out for them. They like cantaloupes.
I'm hoping that if I do that, they go to that garden and leave mine alone. Because I plan on getting a hothouse, you know, not a greenhouse, but a hothouse, so I can grow my own fruits. And
put out cantaloupe.
They'll stay over there and pick their stuff and leave mine alone.
Right. Yeah, put out some cantaloupe. They like those, and they like zucchini and green beans.
Well, I've thrown all kinds of seeds back there. I bought one of those bags that have all the non-GMO seeds in them, and there's zucchini and there's beans and there's everything except for like tomatoes and stuff. And I just threw the seeds out there, hoping they'll grow up.
Yeah, I remember Kumbo was talking about that his grandmother, I guess it was, put out a garden for them. And you know, you just tell them this is yours, this is mine, you know, and they'll leave yours alone, which they did. The year I put that out, they did. But then last year I didn't put it out, and they got in mine. So yeah, I'm gonna put it out.
That's where you gotta be careful, because I don't want them to think I'm feeding them. If it's far enough away, I think they'll be okay.
Right.
You know, if it's too close to my RV, then I have a problem with that. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna try to do that as far away as I possibly can. I don't want them to ever have the idea that I'm trying to feed them, because I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I put them down in the bottom, on the other side of the barn.
I think it's just downright dangerous. I'm listening to some other people talk about get them all these foods. Like, Robert Dodson, when he was down there in Texas, he went to what they called the garden. And it was a community garden, and that's where he used to get all that activity, and that's why he used to put the stuff up in the trees that he did, like the cantaloupe. Right. Because they were able to actually go to that community garden, the Bigfoot down there, and eat what they wanted. But then that flooded, so he had to leave from that area. And he couldn't go back. He had some serious activity there, and he used to scream at them things, chase them things down. I mean, dang, that guy. I mean, I'm not scared of nothing, but I couldn't do what he did that night. I certainly wouldn't have chased them.
Yeah, he's a brave man, that's for sure.
And the eyes in that video are identical to the eyes of the daddy on my property, the alpha on my property. Same shape. Not round. They're not, and I've seen other ones where the eye shine was completely round, but mine aren't. And I don't know if that's the type that they are. I don't know what that is. I have no idea.
But yeah, I think they've got my uncle's garden. He grows sweet corn. And he's had coons will ride corn and stuff down, but he's had stalks go missing. They pulled out of the ground and gone.
Really?
Yep.
I tell everybody that I possibly can, whatever you do not feed these things.
Yeah, I don't.
Do not feed these things. Don't think it's cute and think you're going to get them close. Don't think that's going to happen because it will. And then if you don't feed them, there's a lady in Oklahoma that had that problem, and she was on West Gomers or somebody's show. I can't remember who it was, but what she was doing is her grandmother, it was her property, and she used to go out to the woods all the time and take spare food, the excess food, all the leftovers, and she would dump them out there.
Right.
And the kids never could understand it. She said those are for the critters, and she would just dump all that stuff. Well, when she passed away, her grandkids took over, okay? And when her grandkids took over, they never went out there and dumped off the food until they started getting stuff banging on the house and rocks being thrown and being growled at and the whole 9 yards. And the granddaughter, which was the mom, one of her kids says, Grandma said you got to feed the critters. Remember, great grandma says you got to feed the critters. So they started taking apples and oranges and leftover meats and pies and everything else out there, and all that stuff stopped.
Yeah.
But you realize they're not going to be able to stop.
Mama used to do that here. She used to feed them. Well, she wasn't feeding the boogers, I don't guess. I would really like to have talked to my grandparents about all this, but I didn't know at the time. But whenever she moved into the Louisa house and then eventually in with Dad, and I moved in down here, that's basically whenever all the stuff happened here. And
yeah,
I just put that together.
You'll find out if that's what they did.
I never thought about that.
There's a lot of people that do that. Their elders don't say anything about it. They say, just don't go out in that part of the woods, or don't go hunting down there because, there's this or that. But what they won't tell you is to pacify them, they started feeding them until they pass away. Don't pass that on to you.
Right. Now, what if they would have sold the property and the next person that bought the property, didn't know anything about it? That could have been real trouble. So definitely I would not suggest feeding them. However, there's accident like I had here with the dog food, and now we're talking about the scraps and stuff. And I talked about putting out the garden. If I don't put out that garden, it's looking like I've only done it once, but it looks like they'll just get in my garden.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you have to have a relationship with them, I guess, and it's I can't stress this part enough. It's a respect thing. You let them know that this is mine, this is yours.
Yeah, there's also a guy that was talking about taking whatever he says, and this was a Native American guy, and he said, and this was here in Oklahoma. We were listening to him a couple years back at one of the conventions, and he said what he does is he goes out hunting. His whole hunting party goes out and they get their meat, for the winter. And he says every time any of them get a kill, they don't take it home unless they get a second one. The second one they hang in the trees for the boogers, and then they go back. And that way they're not bothered.
Right.
We gift one to them, and they get two of everything and gift one to them, and then they go about their business. And they never get bothered.
Right. Yeah, I mean.
Well, I'm not going to go out and shoot two hog and try to put one in a tree for them. Not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll leave out deer guts and stuff like that for them, but I mean, it's just it fascinates me that they drag deer in here. I mean, deer carcasses or whatever. They'll bring the carcass in here, the skulls and all that stuff. It's fascinating.
I think the reason they bring you those bones is because they know you hunt deer. So they know you like deer, so I think they bring you the bones because you don't. I don't know. You don't throw the bones in your backyard, do you?
Well, whenever I harvest a deer, I'll cut out the organs and stuff, and I'll lay them up on a log or whatever, and they'll get gone. I don't know if the boogers were taking them, but it's awful funny that the heart and the liver and the kidneys and stuff get took first, and the guts will be laying there. Then finally the crows or whatever will come in. The ones that's on the ground, they don't really bother with them. Just the ones I put up on logs and stuff.
I just think it's weird. Oh, their movement. Oh, their movement. See, on the ground. Right on the ground. Up forward. Oh, yeah.
What?
There you go. Did you see that? In the foreground, right dead center. I know where it's laid.
I must have missed
it. A little bit. Oh, go back a little bit. That was good. I just saw that.
You'll have to tell me the timestamp. I'll keep my thing down here.
It's kind of hard watching here. I'll have to go back and do it myself. Right. Stop. Right there. It's dead center. The green. See the green?
This?
Yeah. Now play. Light. Movement. What the heck was that? What was that? Right above that. Right where you're pointing. Right above that where you're pointing.
Mm-hmm.
There was movement right there. I'd never saw that before. Wow, that's freaky. Anyway, so also I'll tell you what happened with Sandy. Sandy went out. She doesn't hear very well. She doesn't see very well. She went out one night because her dog likes to go out and do her business at night. and she doesn't go very far. You know, our dog's kind of scared of the dark or whatever. But she goes out right into the front of Sandy's little cabin that she made, and goes to the bathroom, and then runs right back inside again. Well, this night, Sandy goes outside with the dog, and the dog stops in its tracks. Doesn't go off to go pee or nothing, just stops in its tracks. And Sandy's looking at her, and she said, "Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And the dog is staring. So Sandy looks straight ahead of her, and down there, I don't know how far away it is. You know, maybe, I don't know. I can't tell you. Anyway, she's looking straight ahead, and she sees eye shine, but it looks like it's only about 2 feet off the ground. It goes from 2 feet off the ground, dead center, to about 4 feet off to the right, up about 4 or 5 feet. And then back off to the other side and then back down to the ground. She goes, "What the heck am I looking at?" And she's by herself, right?
Right.
The dog. And so that weekend I come up and she starts showing me, and there's trees there, but it looked like, and this is what she said, it looked like a baby monkey playing in the trees. And it just jumped from tree to tree to tree. I said, "What was it?" And I said, "Well, you've got to eliminate all the indigenous and all the, you know, the animals that are indigenous to here." I said, "Could it have been an owl jumping from limb to limb?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Why couldn't it have been? Were the eyes round? You know, could have been a deer, you know, just playing around." And she goes, "No." And I said, "Why do you keep telling me no?" She said, "Because it looked like a monkey."
A monkey.
So.
What does she live in?
Do what?
What does she stay in up there?
She bought one of those little sheds and converted it into a house.
Okay. That's what I'd like to do. This house is way too big for me. But
It's
do they ever mess with it?
Go ahead.
Do they ever mess with it, hit it, or anything?
Yeah, she was sitting there reading one night, and they came up, and that's when she told me that she heard 2 old guys talking. You know, and for them to be talking, it had to be pretty close because, like I said, she can't hear anything. I mean, you can hear howls in the distance, and she swears that dogs are barking. So she doesn't have very good hearing.
Right.
And she said she heard 2 guys talking, but she couldn't understand what they were saying. They were mumbling. Well, that means they had to have been right outside her window, and then they slapped on the side of her house, and she said she was sitting in a chair reading a book and had her little nightlight on. And she said, "You know, you about scared me half to death." She goes, "Stop it." And she said that was it. They've never hit on the house again.
Ain't that amazing? I like to talk to her. I bet she's had all kinds of stuff happen.
Yeah, she doesn't have a bunch of stuff happen because I asked her last night, and I did get her on video because I asked her to tell some of the stories.
Uh-huh.
You know, and she said, "I have a whole bunch," and you got to remember, she said, "This is over a course of a year," but she can't hear much. So there could be lots of stuff happening around her. And I asked her if she heard that blood-curdling howl that we heard the other night. She said, "Nope."
I wonder if that aggravates the boogers because they can't get her attention like they would, you know, someone with good hearing. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll up the...
I told her it was her fault because it's so remote up there, and that was before she had, made her little shower area. She used to go up there and fill a bucket full of water and get naked and get in the water. And I told her, I said, "You're walking around up there naked in front of boogers? What's wrong with you?" That's no wonder they're banging on your windows.
Does she pay much attention though? I mean, or does she pay much attention, or is it just more like normal part of life? You know what I'm saying?
No, I think she's pretty scared. So what she does is she just tries to ignore him. When she hears close by,
which is something.
She goes in the house.
Which makes them want to do more.
Right, but she tells them that she's scaring them, so they don't do anything to really scare her. Now, they move stuff, and she goes, "You know, I swore your grandkids must have been here," and I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, half my stuff off my porch is missing." And I said, "What?" And then she turns around, she goes, "Oh, never mind, I found it." She goes, "I must have put it over there and forgot all about it." Well, she didn't move them, they did.
That's happened here quite a few times.
Yeah, and so she doesn't realize, so she won't put those together because she was a non-believer before we went to Hanobi.
Yeah.
You know, and even at Hanobi, her and I both rolled our eyes and we were like, "Yeah, sure, okay, right, you know, you guys are hoaxing." But when she heard the howls and she started seeing the shadows and she saw the eye shine, she definitely heard it trailing us when we walked from one camp to the other. And the footsteps of a person, even a big person, are kind of distinct. You know, I mean, you can tell.
Oh,
I know.
bipedal,
I was
yeah.
walking in the woods and some guy was trailing me. I can tell you it was a man.
Right.
But these are, they're so heavy you feel them. And I'm sorry, a man can't do that, you know.
Yeah.
So, and she stiffened up, and the guy that was walking her said, "It's okay, they're not going to hurt you, it's okay." And she's like, "You got to be kidding me." You know, she was scared. And when we go down there every year, and they're going to stop some of the expeditions because the guy who used to host it he's in the military, he's doing something else now, but somebody else I think will take over the expeditions. But this guy that was doing it, he could call them things in like nobody's business, and it sounded like an owl on steroids. And they would imitate his identical. You think your howl's good, and your howl is really good. He has the same, and he sounds just like a hoot owl. I mean, just exactly like it.
All right.
And they imitate him. I mean, and you can be standing right there. I mean, if there was an owl sitting right there, you'd see him because, you know, they've got lights there, and the moonlight is bright enough that you can see in the trees. And there's nothing there. It's pretty freaky, but that's where she got hers. We used to do some, you know, look at some videos and stuff and talk to some people, but it's nothing like being there. And when you're down there and you're walking through the woods and you hear things and you see things, you know, it's just it kind of changes your mind. And I think part of you really wants to believe that they exist, you know, because everybody's talking about it, and you just want to see it so you know for a fact that it's true and you're not being deceived or you're gullible or whatever the case may be. But then you're down there and you actually see one and you see the shape of it, and everything changes. I mean, just everything changes. You're like, no, I don't think I want to see another one. I definitely don't want to see one face to face. They're pretty darn scary.
Indeed.
And mine are scary because they're not smooth faced like some of them I've seen pictures. Their face, well, Daddy's face was chiseled. It looked like it was carved in stone. You know, I mean, he looked hardened. You know, and his eyes were. My insides are actually shaking right now. His eyes were very intimidating. They were huge. The shape of them, because it didn't look like a human's eyes. You know, the shape of his eyes just. I mean, I can see that in my sleep. It weeks me out. You know, I close my eyes and I see that eye, and I'm like, oh God. But I think that's the only reason I get that feeling. You know, is when he's around.
Right. Now, yeah, I've had that before. Well, the night I was live and got hit by that whatever infrasound or whatever the heck happened. And I mean, yeah, it changes the whole mood of the situation.
It does. Down just asked, what is it about seeing one that leaves you feeling like you don't want to see one again? It's a fear that, look, guys, I have looked down the barrel of a rifle before. I've been in places, and I've done some things that's dangerous, and that I don't really have any fear. I'm kind of stupid when it comes to fear, and there's a lot of things I've been through, but nothing matches this. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I couldn't describe this to someone to save my life. If you really want to know why people have encounters and can't ever go back in the woods again, see one face to face. And if it's not aggressive, it's still you take it to bed with you.
It's just unbelievable how big they are.
Huh?
It's just unbelievable how big they are.
Right, it is. Your brain can't wrap around the fact that this thing actually exists. There's nothing that big that we can compare it to. You know, I can be standing. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have stood, you know, in zoos and looked at giraffes, how tall they are, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's nothing like seeing one on TV, you know, or an elephant, how absolutely big they are. Okay, well, your brain can wrap it around an elephant or a giraffe. It can't wrap around a booger, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're told that those are real.
That's right. So when you're looking at this thing face to face, and it looks like it could kill you 1 second and shake your hand the next, or you don't know what it's going to do, I'm telling you, your brain it doesn't shut down. It just doesn't shut down. You're constantly thinking about it. It will take over your life if you let it.
Yeah.
And part of me has, because I can't wait to get back in the woods. You know, I mean, I don't like the feeling that I have when I think about, you know, Big Daddy out there. I mean, because he does. He scares the crap out of me. his whole demeanor just changes the whole attitude of me going up there. It could ruin it in one day. But you turn around and you have all this interaction with Boo or the other, sentries that are the juveniles that are out there. They're like, who wants to play underneath my window? They have absolutely no problem playing underneath my window, making all kinds of noise, and I got a big smile on my face. And I'm sure everybody listening or everybody that's out there, if you've had any kind of encounter, or when people are listening to yours, they're coming up closer and closer, and you can hear them, and you can hear them chewing or breathing or coughing or repeating, and your brain is like, oh my gosh, this is really cool, and everybody gets excited. Well, go outside and have it walk up in front of you, and all of a sudden that excitement goes to holy crap. I'm just saying, there's no way to tell somebody how you're going to respond to seeing one of these things face to face. And if you'll ever get over it. I'll never get over it. I'll never get over it. I'll remember this forever. And people can ask me when I'm, senile, and I'll promise you I'll remember a booger. I'll remember seeing this papa face to face. That's something you're never going to forget.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah, you can hear it in my voice. I can't even stop myself from shaking. And I'm not afraid of them. All I'm thinking about right now, trying to explain to downrange, why you do it. All I can think of is that Big Daddy by the window. And it's still, and that happened, 3 months ago? And I'm still shaking. It's intimidating. I've never seen anything so big in my life. I've been around some pretty big people, and I've been around some pretty mean people. And I've seen a lot of things in my life, but nothing like this. Absolutely nothing.
We fear the unknown. Then you add on top of it, it's dark. It's just ingrained in us to fear the dark. There's things moving around we can't see.
Yeah, well, I can walk out there in the dark, like you do. You have your little light.
Right, but then you know that these are real, and the sheer size of them is just
right. And when something cracks behind you, how many times have we sat out in the woods hunting when it's completely pitch dark outside? And we listen for the sounds. Okay, we know about this time is when the deer are going to come through, and we get our everything ready, and got them in our sights, and you're stoked. You're going to get yourself a deer today. Whatever the case may be.
Right.
Now, once you see one of these, every little stick break, every little noise, your head's spinning around. You're no longer sitting there all patient. The minute you see one of these things, you're going to start looking for it. Because you can't figure out, now you know the difference between a deer, a hog, a bear, or a Bigfoot.
Before I forget again, does Sandy ever say the words to him? Has she ever tried that?
No. I've never told her the words.
Okay.
Today was the first day, or yesterday was the first day she heard them. And she said, what the heck is that? And I said, it's Bigfoot language. She goes, yeah, okay. And she goes, well, what was it again? And I said, I'm not telling you. And she just laughed. She doesn't really want that. She doesn't really want that interaction. She likes it just the way it is.
Do you see what I have on the screen?
Huh?
Do you see what I have on the screen?
Yeah, I see it.
I got it blowed up pretty big now.
Yeah, 9,000%. Good grief. Yeah.
1,000? There's eyes, nose. I wonder if that's hair or just a digital artifact on that.
I don't know. I don't see any eyes and nose.
You don't see those two dark sockets right there?
Yeah, sorry. Party pants. Yeah, and there's something else too, and I just saw that. Okay, who was it that said that? Skibo. Yeah. All right, let me tell you something. I've heard people say, well, they ask you, how big do you think this was? Well, it had to be a good 7-8 feet tall. How much do you think it weighed? Oh, at least 400 pounds. 400 pounds, my butt. I'm talking 700-800 pounds. I'm not talking no 400 pounds. I don't know what kind of boogers they got, but the ones down in Oklahoma, they are not 400 pounds. Not unless they're babies. These things are huge. They're absolutely huge. And
Yeah, I mean, just the
I
bulk
will
of
tell
them.
you this, it scared me. It literally did. That's the first time I've been really scared. When that big daddy looked at me, I was literally frozen in fear. And I've never in my life been frozen in fear, ever. I can get scared, a little bit, shocked a little bit, taken aback, by something I wasn't expecting. But I have never been scared stiff. And I was scared stiff. So, I don't want to repeat that, sorry. And imagine if it was aggressive. Imagine, if it had growled at me or jumped towards me or something like that. I think I'd have had a heart attack and died. Because I don't know what to do with that kind of fear. What do you do with that kind of fear?
Wear the full armor.
I talked to guys in the military, and they've never experienced that kind of fear.
Right.
They can't get over it, They can't get over it at all. They think about it. They have night terrors over it.
Yeah, I don't know, it's something else, which I haven't ever had an encounter to where I could see him that good. I've had a couple brief glimpses is all, so I don't know. I hope I react in a cool, calm manner whenever it does happen, but who knows?
Well, the night that big one did, I think I did. I just looked up at him and I said, "What did I do wrong?" I didn't panic and scream and freak out or run away. I just sat there and looked at him. I said, "I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you scaring me?" But when he left, I couldn't move. I was terrified. I could not move. And then it took me hours, literally, to calm myself down. I was shaking so bad inside. And I still have, and I can shake now just talking about it. So it's not the same. It's just not the same.
What is it? PTSD?
Make sure you keep it encounter from a distance.
Yeah, that's why, the ones that I've had, except for the one that ran across the porch and it was dark out there and just I thought it was a cow or something ran across the porch.
Yeah, no, I tailed it into the woods. You saw him that night.
But face to face, oh, good night. That'd be pretty spooky.
Yeah, they're pretty scary, and they're pretty fun too. And there's things you can do with them. I know Christopher Noel has the savant theory. They're kind of like, kids that have not Down syndrome, but there's a lot of different ways of looking at these things, and I can see why some people consider them kind of apish. Okay, so because they can respond a lot like a great ape, like a gorilla would do. They're sitting there, they're nice and quiet, and next thing you know, they're beating on their chest and chasing you down. And if they do get a hold of you, and they really want to get a hold of you, then good grief, they can pummel you and take your bones apart.
Oh yeah.
These things are twice as big as the gorilla is. So twice as tall. So you think about something like that, and it takes your breath away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you don't want to take it off. So when there's a lot of people that get on here and say, why don't you do this, and why don't you do this, and why don't you do this, and I've said it before, and I'll keep on repeating it until you guys get tired of hearing it. Don't change what you're doing. Do not change what you're doing, because the reason it's being done is because they like the fact that you're consistent.
Or baby steps. Yeah, they definitely like a routine. If you're going to introduce something new, do it slowly. You can't just put up everything all at once and expect them to come back.
Not run out there with cameras after you've been there 6 months with no cameras. You're looking to get in trouble. Take that camera and throw it on the ground. Throw it on the ground in the front yard and leave it sit there for a week. Then set it up on the ground, the same place for a week, and then move it.
Well, look at my security cameras. I've had them up for, 3 or 4 months now.
Right, and things changed. Things will keep changing as they find out that you're not trying to get one over. How intelligent can these things be? Like I said, I don't think they go past a teenager mentality. But how intelligent can these things be to know that you've changed something, and that something may or may not harm them?
Right.
Camera's never going to hurt. They never died from a camera. They know what a gun is. They can either run from a gun or growl at you or charge you or something like that, but never a camera.
Well, they know, like on a game camera, though, they know if they do this, move something in front of it or whatever, it gives a reaction that they're not sure about.
It doesn't hurt them. So
right.
Why would they avoid them?
Well, I think
It's not
they
gonna
know a
hurt
little bit about
you.
them. To be honest with you, I think that they know that hey, this thing flashes whenever I do this, and I better not do that. You know that.
Well, our cameras, our camcorders don't flash. My issue is this.
Right, but I'm talking about game cameras.
Yeah, what is it about cameras that makes them so nervous or makes them hide? Is it just you that's making them hide? How come they don't do that when it comes to my audio recorder? How come they can walk right up to my audio recorder and tap on it?
I don't know. Ain't that weird?
This is what I'm getting at. We have no idea what their intelligence level is.
But it's not flashing or anything like that. I mean, like I guess they got a light on it, but it's not doing anything. At least mine don't.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing is mind-boggling. So if you want to look at it from a broad spectrum, just look at it this way: you're dealing with things that you know nothing about, that have some skills that we'll never touch, and it's very emotional to see them. It does a lot to you, but it also gets you so sucked up into it that it's hard to back off. I mean, I sit here night after night after night waiting to get up to that property. I'm crossing off days on the calendar to get back up to the property because I want that one-on-one interaction. But then, like this weekend, when I get that feeling that the dad is staring me down, I want to go home. I don't want to be there anymore. Okay, I'm done.
Right.
Imagine when I live there. What am I going to do when I live there? I can't run away.
Well, I mean,
I'm going to have to figure out how to do something with Big Daddy.
Put the game cameras up.
So I don't have this fear because he's scaring the crap out of me. He's just so intimidating, and I don't get intimidated. I'm sorry, but I don't care how big and bad you are. You don't intimidate me. This thing intimidates the crap out of me.
Right. And then you go back to the unknown. But like we was talking about cameras, I can put my phone out there, and they'll actually sit there and throw rocks and make noises all night. Well, not all night, but for a while. But then I'll walk out there and it calms down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like my phone don't seem to bother him much. It's not, it's just sitting there. It don't have any flashes to it or anything like that.
Yeah. Night, Sissy. Hugs.
Not Sissy.
I have. Like I said, I've got a lot of experience out here with some of the other areas. I've been to quite a few areas around, between Arkansas and Oklahoma. I was supposed to go this weekend to Roberts, but I just got back from mine, and I know he's going to get rained out too. But Roberts got some really good videos, and I know he's got at least a couple of dogmen out there. And I was supposed to go out to his, but there's quite a few areas I've been out to and had some interactions with, but far away. You see them or you hear them or you get the classic, tree breaks or hoops or howls or something like that, or screams even. And you can get the structures all over the place. It's just not the same. It's not the same as it on your own property. You're never going to have that same reaction unless you're close enough to that area. You go out every single weekend or every single night and want a one-on-one with them. It takes a lot for them to trust you. And once they trust you, and you can have rogues, and some of those rogues are evil as all get out. Some of those rogues just want attention. They want someone to spend time with them. And I think that's what some of these older people that are on this property, there's a lot of older men and women that have property they've owned for absolute years, and maybe their spouses have passed away and they're by themselves. The builders go out there all the time. They stay at a distance. They don't bother them or nothing, but look at what they do. They have interactions. I want to talk to some of these people. There's a lady in Honaby that has that.
Right.
She's 87 years old. She don't care. She said, "Oh yeah, they're all over the property. She don't bother me.
Yeah.
I don't bother them. They don't bother me."
I mean, I think that's kind of the relationship that Mama and Papa had with them, and they really talk about it. I don't know why. I wish growing up, whenever he talked about it, I would have questioned a little bit more. I thought it was just scare tactics, but
yeah, but hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go out. That's something I really want to do, and I want to talk to some of these, older Native American people. They have, oh my gosh, some of the stories they have are so scary. They're pretty scary. But other ones look at that. You see that picture? That tree is still hanging there.
Yeah.
by a thread. It's just hanging upside down there by a thread. That freaks me out. Look at that gnarly thing.
That's some of the structures you can go to, and things are just balanced so perfect. And if you take one little limb out, the whole thing falls down.
It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean it has to be manipulated. You know what I'm saying?
Oh gosh!
One of the first ones I found.
Hanging in there. What is that stuff? What is all up there? There's so much stuff in that tree. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, and yeah, that's good stuff. That's right there off towards the river side. That's on the river side. And they've got a structure down there that's probably a good 25 feet long.
Have you ever found any that keeps getting added to? Like every time you go to it, it's different.
That's right behind. That's the one that I'm going to upload tonight. That one is right behind. Not the one you're looking at now. That's in the front part of the property going down off that hill towards the river. The one in back of my property is the one they keep adding to.
Right.
I'm walking back up the hill to my RV, but that's down towards the river.
Yeah, I've got them here that changes, and I think it's like whenever they pass through, they like I think they use scouts, like they're always on the move, and whenever they pass through a certain direction, maybe they put a limb there to let the other ones know, hey, we went this way instead of this way or whatever. But I mean, it's pure speculation, but what makes sense to me. I think a lot of this is just common sense. What would you do in their shoes?
Yeah.
You want to stay hidden, you want to eat, and
Yeah, and they want their kids, if you saw that video of the one, look at that baby print. That baby print, I mean, I went back and looked at the video, and then I measured my fingers there, and between the bottom of my front finger and my thumb is only 2.5 inches. When I'm putting my fingers down there, it's only 2.5 inches how big that's an infant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is a tiny, tiny little infant. And they want that. And now, if they feel safe enough to let their baby run around there, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It takes a while for that to happen, but
that's trust.
Yeah, they felt good enough to let their baby run around there, then I feel pretty blessed to have that interaction. Indeed. I don't want to do anything to mess it up.
Right.
And I know I go on and on and on about this, and there's a lot of people out there that don't have, and even your situation, the Snow situation is different than mine. I sometimes think, oh my gosh, I wish I was at Snow's house and they did that where they brought stuff up to my house all the time. Well, maybe I don't.
Yeah, I don't want them on my porch. I really don't.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want them on my
boundaries.
porch.
I don't know how she does it, but
she's got I really like it.
She's got a great relationship with him. I mean, she's got the little baby footprint before too, and the little sandbox she had, which was cool.
She is dealing with one.
And like you was talking about, that's trust. To bring one so young up to your house.
But here's the other thing, though, Rick, and this is something that I said last time. Her relationship with the Bigfoot on her property could change easy. And that one grows up a little bit more, and mom and dad are teaching them now they got to do something else, or now he's going to get kicked out of his clan and have to go someplace else, and all of a sudden everything changes on her property. She needs to enjoy what she's got going on now, unless that one is a little older juvenile and he's already in the clan in that area and he's going to stay and happens to like Snow. You don't know what these guys are going to do.
Right.
You have no idea. What happens if Boo gets sent bye-byes and Daddy stays around?
Right.
I'm going to be sorry I built up there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then I'm going to be sorry I built up there. I want to make sure. And it's not... I know someone made a comment about Harry and the Hendersons. This is not Harry and the Hendersons, guys. There's no way I'd invite one in my house and let him, punch a hole through the bottom of my house when he jumped or sat down. It's not even feasible for me to think that way, even on the best day. Okay? If I thought that I had a great relationship with them, I could never have imagined Harry and Henderson. Not close. Because that is a character. These guys are characters, but they can be really dangerous. I mean, really dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, they're wild.
That's right.
There's a reason that they don't come and, hang out in people's houses with them.
Oh, yeah, they don't want any part of you, and...
Who can blame them?
Oh, good, that's that video right there. You see that one down tree. I hope I spin off to the right. If I turn to the right.
I bet you do.
Yeah, I probably will.
Ooh, what was
That one got knocked down by a storm. That one's a different one. Now I'm turning the other direction.
Hang on.
That
I thought I saw something.
right there. That's one. Now wait until I show you the one that I uploaded tonight. That tree right back behind there is facing towards me, like it just came down on me. Matt made a comment. They can absolutely feel or sense your intention, and your vibe is obviously only or good. It's only good. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's the deal. This past weekend, I was just to be tied.
So can a dog.
I got in a big argument with my grandson on the way in, and he's changed so much. You know, my 13-year-old grandson.
Teenager.
Huh?
A teenager.
Yeah. And I was mad. I was really, really angry. When I got up there, I was fuming, and they didn't come around. You know, first night, to me, like they normally do. Boo didn't come up and greet me like he normally does. You know, he wasn't standing out there in the distance. I was ticked off.
He's like, uh-oh, Dee's mad. Keep away.
They don't like that. They want it. And I'm always happy up there. I'm always happy. You know, I'm running around there in the woods, you know, no gun, no nothing, and just having a good time and talking to them and playing and putting, you know, toys out in the trees and
catching rattlesnakes.
Yeah, shooting rattlesnakes. I told myself I won't shoot the rattlesnakes anymore if you kill them. I still need to find me some king snakes and bring them up there or something else that'll kill them. Look.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of black racers around here that keep the poisonous ones running off.
Yeah, black racer. I got chased by one. It tried to get in my back door.
Hey, those things are fast, ain't they? I found one in the house before. I had no idea how it got in.
After you, but I think I'd rather be chased by a black racer than a rattlesnake. And when I had David up there that time, I'd never seen a rattlesnake do that in my life. But that 6-foot rattlesnake, and that sucker put his head up off the ground and beelined it right for David between me and Lizzie and my dog. And beelined it for David. And that boy was cussing up a storm. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Isn't this where you find the footprint?
Huh?
Isn't this where you find the footprint? The baby footprint?
Yeah, right on the back of my trailer. There's a nice juvenile footprint for there.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, there's so much. Oh, this is the one that's looking for the footprint.
Yeah.
Yep, this is it.
A couple of years ago, before I knew about these boogers, you remember, they might still make them, they's called magic screens or whatever, just had the magnets that put them back together.
Yeah.
I used to sleep with that, with, you know, my door wide open. There it is. Well, I missed it.
Briefly, when it looks down, I know I'm delayed, but briefly when it looks down, you can clearly see the footprint. And then stupid me doesn't know how to use the camera, and I block it with my hand. But right there, baby footprint, tiny little baby footprint. It's so cute. I mean, that thing is tiny. There you go. Toes, little kitty space between the heel. And you can actually, when you're sitting there, you can actually see the 5 toes. It was just the cutest thing ever.
It looks like a right foot.
Tiny. I was like, holy crap.
It's a right foot?
Huh? It's a left foot. The big toe is on the side. Yeah.
The big toe's where?
It just, I mean, we're talking really tiny. Absolutely really tiny. And I tried to put my hand up there, and that's when I messed it up. I don't know how I did that, but like I said, I don't know how to use a stupid camera. It is clearly visible. I think if that wasn't so dusty at that time, you see where you see that little piece of blade of grass, old grass?
Yeah.
Up there by the toes? That is sitting right on the baby toe. There you go. That's on the baby toe.
Okay, that's the little one. Okay, okay.
Yep.
These two are kind of close together, maybe?
No, it's where we were walking. Lindsay was walking over there, so I asked her not to step on the prints.
That's what sucks about taking pictures of prints, man. It's hard to capture what you're seeing. One good way to do it is with a flashlight. Get your camera at an angle with the light, and it puts shadow in it. And it's good, you know, early in the morning or late in the evening is a good time to take pictures of them too.
Well, when I zoom in, yeah, I did put my hand next to it, Matt, for comparison. I did, but the camera wasn't on it. I'm going, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes, and I wasn't even looking at it. The camera was looking someplace else. I felt like such an idiot. That's why I put in there, I'm such an idiot.
I thought that was a good title.
That is. Because I didn't know how to use it. But that was clear, and then that print next to it is where Lizzie we were looking for, and she said, don't walk on the print, and she actually walked on the print. But when I put my hand down there next to it, which is coming up pretty soon here, when I put my hand down next to it, if you look, when I just start to do it, you will see the toe prints better. And then, of course, I get off of it, you know, in an instant.
I'll get the paws ready. What was you doing, looking for more tracks?
Yeah, I was looking for more tracks, but it went off into the woods. You can tell Mama picked a baby and went into the woods. The scuffle, there was I forgot to tell you that. We got there Friday. Well, we got there late Friday. Saturday morning, got up and went out there, and I heard I found out it was a hog, but I found a hog rooting around out there. Found this great big huge area where you could tell that they were rooting.
Uh-huh.
And then I tasted this blood, you know, and I couldn't figure out what that was from. You know, it was just there we go. There he is. See? Toe prints, and right in there, that big hump in the middle is where the foot separated from the heel.
Right.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and then Dummy Me puts my hand down there and you can't even see it.
Let's watch that part.
I saw blood on the leaves. No idea.
That's pretty good right there.
Yep, there it is. And I stick my hand down there.
So how many different size tracks have you found in one season?
I don't find very many. It's solid rock up there.
Yeah, tracks are hard to find
because
anyway.
There was no rain, so it was pretty dusty. But then it rained and everything washed away. But all you see there on the far left is that break between the heel.
There's
you see
her
heel dug in
hand.
right there at the bottom of it. Then that clumped up part is where the break is, and then above that is the 5 toes. You can clearly see the 5 toes.
All right, there's with your hand.
Yeah, my dummy hand. You know how tiny it is. Oh my gosh, it's so tiny.
Yeah, that's a little one.
It's a little bitty boy.
That's pretty
No,
cool.
it's not wide. It's pretty narrow.
Oh yeah, tell them about your cat. Somebody asked if you had mountain lions.
He was asking you if you had mountain lions. Yeah, I know I do.
Oh, okay. I didn't see my name down there.
Okay. We saw him Sunday. I took Dave and Lizzie out. I was going to go back out there camcording, and saw a flash out of the corner of my eye, and Dave says, "Grandma, did you see that?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's probably a deer. It's pretty tan." And then as we got closer, I saw the tail end of the tip of its tail with the black on it, and I said, "Oh no, let's go." And we backed off again and went the other direction, and I went and got my gun and walked down to the bottom, and I just kept watching over there, and I don't know where it went. I just kind of ignored it, but that cat, oh my gosh, that cat, it stays up there. I mean, it's kind of lives up there somewhere. We found a great big cave, too, I want to go look at next time I go down there. We found a great big cave right on the other side where that gnarly-looking tree was, and I think either the boogers are staying in there or that cat's staying there because that's his favorite area.
Yeah.
That's where I find that mountain lion all the time, is on that side.
Yeah, they're around here too. There's been a black one seen and a tawny colored one. There's a couple of them.
Okay, now see how long my finger is? And
Yeah.
if I was to put my finger, if I would put it in the right place, that would be as long as that footprint is. Just how it's the length of my finger. It's tiny. It is really tiny. I don't know how old that thing is, but I know that's a baby.
Well, I mean, when does human kids start walking?
Oh, 18 months. It depends on the kid.
Yeah. I would figure that these things probably walked before, you know what I mean?
I don't know.
I would
I
think
just,
they would.
you know, with
Maybe
the way
not.
their knees go, you know, with their hips, the way they move, I can imagine a baby trying to walk.
Yeah. Or even, crawling around. I'm sure they're all over the place crawling around.
Oh, and fast. Oh, I'm telling you. That night that I thought that they were bobcats out there, they were baby boogers.
Yeah, they're extremely fast grown up. I know that. I bet those will talk about a rugrat.
Yeah, really.
Those little guys would be all over the place.
Yep. We have you climb up these stairs to the top part of the back of the RV, and there's a little sleeping area up there. And we crawled up there one night because the kids were afraid to sleep up there by themselves, so I slept up there with them. And we opened up the curtains, looked outside. I kept hearing all this noise out there. I opened the curtain real quick, and I see what looks like two bobcats. You know, they were pretty low to the ground on all fours, and they were running all over the place. I mean, just like a cat would.
Right.
And the more I looked, you know, the more I said, that doesn't look like a bobcat. What the heck is that? And, you know, until it got to the corner, and all of a sudden I saw a dark shadow, and then the one just absolutely stood up, and I was like, what the crud? And my grandkids were like, oh my gosh, Grandma, like, walking on 2 feet. But it was so tiny, it was so little, I didn't even think, and I didn't see anything else around. I had no idea. You know, I didn't have any idea that something that small, you know, would just get up and walk. And I didn't know anything about size of the baby Bigfoot. I didn't even think about it. You know, I mean, it didn't enter my mind, you know, that these things would have babies. I didn't even think about that part.
You probably thought they laid eggs.
I didn't think about the baby part of it, right?
You probably thought they laid eggs or something.
Yeah, and then you see something little running around. All of a sudden, it stands up, and that's it. You're done. You know, you're done. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like you said a while ago about the scraps and stuff. It's amazing the things that I don't think about. I mean, you know, all of a sudden, bam, it hits you. I was up there whenever I think I got coyote vocals or whatever that day, and I was talking about being in a berry patch one time and stuff being thrown. You know, I hadn't thought something just triggered that memory. But I mean, it's the same way of thoughts. I'm kind of slow anyway.
Isn't that weird though? How that happens?
Mm-hmm.
Don't think about this stuff, and all of a sudden it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's really strange. I think when Matt asked about the small structures, I think some of these tiny teepees are the juveniles learning, you know, how to do the structures. I think mom and dad are teaching them. But I saw this one area, and I've said this before when I was talking to Rick, as a matter of fact, that there's this one area that actually looks like a playground. It looks like mom and dad sit on rocks in an area where babies would play. It's all beat up and pushed down, and to me, it just reminds me of a playground. I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind, being a mom and a grandma.
Yeah, I found places like that.
And I don't really think, honestly, and this is my opinion, because I've never seen it, but I really don't honestly think that mom and dad are going to leave the baby in a blind or in a tree and go out hunting. I don't think that's ever left alone, ever.
Well, my opinion on it is that they work as a family unit. You know what I mean?
That's right.
They got some that goes out and hunts and brings back food.
There's always a sentry, which means there's always a babysitter.
Yeah, always a babysitter, somebody watching the young ones. I mean, that's just what makes sense. And, I guess until somebody sees it or whatever, it'd be hard to prove. But, like the time I found the 5 tracks, and they was, 3 of them was pretty small, and 2 sets were, I think, 14 or 15 inches. But there's 2 different size, bigger tracks. And that was by the structure I was talking about. I call it the ever-changing structure. And I think that's one of their hangouts, and maybe that's what the deal is with the structure. I found pine cones in that structure before, and there's no pine trees there.
You never know what they are until you actually see one in it. I mean, I won't go into the structures. I don't even touch the structures.
Yeah, I try not to mess with them now.
I think that my scent on it's just going to make them upset, so I don't bother touching them. And I made the mistake that one day of going into that little blind, because it looked like a tree, like a weeping willow. But it wasn't. It was what they built. And I
Right.
climbed inside of it, and I could see all the way around me, but from the outside, it just looked like a bunch of bent over trees. But I got inside of it, and it was actually a nice little blind to look around.
Right. Well, I think a lot of the structures are for hunting. That's what, like my kill box deal. I think they've
Yeah,
been over obstacles and stuff, and
right?
then you always find a blind, and they're always around game trails. And
Yeah,
I've actually
but they
found
could
deer
be anything,
bones in them.
couldn't they? They could be multiple use. I mean, these things are smart enough; they could use them for multiple things.
Oh yeah. I mean, I just wondered, like the families in one area, then you got a hunter or two that goes out to get the bring home the bacon or whatever. I wonder how far they range when they're hunting. And
I don't know.
I've been out on the back porch before, and I don't have this recorded, but I've heard what I mean. It sounds like they're hunting. They'll do the knocks and the whoops and all that, and you'll have one place and one in another, and then another one. I wasn't sure what was going on, but now thinking back to it, I think they was hunting.
Yeah,
They're working
yeah,
teams, maybe like a deer drive. Who knows?
yeah. And I think they utilize the coyotes, because trust me, if coyotes were their main menu, we wouldn't have as many as we do.
Yeah, I think they use coyotes too, but I think they will eat a coyote also.
Dude, I think they use the coyotes for some reason because animals have a tendency. Other animals. Let's just take Bigfoot out of the picture completely, and let's just say there's no such thing as Bigfoot. You just have your regular predators out there. A coyote starts howling. What does that mean? Either they're looking for a mate, or if they're howling and they're in attack, okay, what are they doing? They're hunting, right?
Right.
So they're seeing what do you think that the prey around there is going to do when they hear the coyotes? They're going to take off.
Right.
Okay? They're not going to stay where they're at. They're going to take off. So to me, it makes perfect sense because I've heard coyotes and then heard them either an animal cry or you could hear a dog whimper like it got tore apart. I mean, I've heard this, in the middle of the night. So I agree. I think they also use coyotes. I don't know how, but I mean, I can't prove that. But I think that they know the woods well enough to kind of imitate what other animals do to get their prey. And they will utilize whatever they can. What do owls do with each other? I mean, owls serve no purpose. As far as the Bigfoot is concerned, I can't think of any purpose an owl would do. So why would they make the noises? Why would they imitate people's voices? Why do they do some of the stuff they do?
I don't
there's
know.
a lot of things I'd like to know, but do I really want to know?
I think a lot of it's just signaling back and forth, like, hey, I'm over here, you're over there. I've had the owls do something crazy where one will, which, I don't think they're owls, but one will make a noise and get me going in one direction, then another one, maybe if I got too close or whatever, another one would do it in the opposite direction, have me running around in circles. It's just weird sometimes.
Right, exactly. I mean, you think about it and you're like, what the heck? I mean, and imagine, at one point you're sitting there and you're listening to the night sounds, the sounds of the night. You've been out there, all your life. You've been hunting, fishing, camping, whatever the case may be. And all of a sudden you start hearing these strange noises. It sounds like something or somebody is getting killed. You hear that a lot from hunters. And they said, I've never heard that sound before, and it wasn't a coyote, it wasn't a bobcat, and it wasn't a mountain lion. What the heck was it?
Right.
I can just picture in my head from some of the shows that I've listened to where the one guy said that he watched the Bigfoot take off with two of his prize pigs. I mean, these suckers are 400 or 500 pounds a piece, and he just walks off with them. How do these things do? Do they pummel them? Do they beat them up? They break their ribs or break their legs. I mean, that thing's got to squeal, but in pain. There's a lot of stuff we just don't know, and I don't have. I'm too old now to do this. It's kind of weird that I picked this up in my later years, but as many years as I was spending the woods as a kid, but knowing what I know now, I don't have the next 50 years to go out there and spend all this time in the woods, but I would if I could get the answers. I would. I mean, I'd go out there and get it. I'd go to every place I possibly could to get as much information as I could. Night, Nala. Love you, hon.
Good night.
But I absolutely no idea what their hunting skills are. We see things, people talk about them killing chickens or killing their goats, or how do we know it's them killing them unless they've seen them? What if it's another animal that's doing it? We don't have any idea.
No.
You have to listen to everybody's testimonies of what goes on out there, what they've actually seen. I could sit and listen to those for hours, couldn't you?
Oh yeah. There it is. Have you ever seen this picture? I don't know if it's real or not. There's debate about it before, and somebody mentioned that the leg was straight on it.
The what?
The leg was actually straight on it. See the
What, on
back
the
leg?
booger?
Oh, wait a minute. It'll pop up here in a second on your screen. It looks like a booger carrying a cow. Now I don't know if that's real or not, but do you see
Oh,
it?
that don't look real to me.
Yeah, it don't really look real to me either. But just you was talking about the guy's pigs being packed off reminded me of that.
Yeah, this guy said he stuck them underneath his arms like he was carrying two bales, two bags of groceries, and they were two of his prized hogs.
Right.
And he saw this thing walk off in the woods with them underneath his arms, but see, they weren't squealing and freaking out either. So were they already dead? He just picked them up and took them. How'd he kill them? Did he? Somebody else, I think it was David or somebody else I heard said that they watched a Bigfoot actually punch an animal until it killed it. Just pummeled it.
Wow.
So I mean that's pretty aggressive. And there's certain animals they do that with. I don't know. I'm willing to find out, and I'm willing to go to certain places to find out. But I think I'd more rather go to areas where they're not so aggressive. I don't want to end up dead.
So you think they did a ground and pound on it?
Yeah, I do. Now that looks like a straight leg.
Yeah, and from what I understand,
There's no way they're straight.
They don't straighten their
never
legs.
Have been straight legs. They can't straighten their legs.
I mean, it looks like a real cow. Who knows? It could be just stuffed something or another. And it looks like its legs in behind. It's got it gripped by the leg, but yeah, the straight leg kind of messes that whole deal up. It looks like the Jack Lynx booger too.
Yeah.
Don't it?
I don't know what that is, but also, no. If you look at it, it looks like a guy. The gray part is his face. The front up on top is holding the booger. He's walking towards, and his right foot is bent, and his left foot is straight. It looks like a guy carrying something.
Yes, it does. It does look like a cow.
He's carrying himself an awful big baby cow. Come on, baby, let's go home.
Well, if that's a real cow, whatever that is a brute.
I don't know. Oh, I saw a dead cow on the way. I had to stop and let my grandkids go out and take a look at it. Someone hit a cow on the way out to the property, and that thing was turned upside down with its legs straight. Had been dead for quite a while. Quite a few people stopped and asked me if I was okay, and I said, "No, I'm fine. Why?" And they said, "Well, did you hit that cow?" And I said, "Nope." Not with his legs straight like that for God knows how long. But it was a good-sized cow. I bet you he did some damage to that part over his.
Yeah, I bet. That's the ABS picture? Ain't that what they call it? Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so like we were talking about, there's lots. I can tell you, like I said, I got lots of stories from Oklahoma from a lot of people. But the stuff that does it the most for me is I can only tell everybody what I know. Rick, you can only tell everybody what you know. Snow can only tell what she knows, what goes on with us and our properties and stuff. And I would love people to go out. I wish I could say that I would invite a group of people out there and that the Bigfoot would all do the same thing that they do with me, but I don't know that. I don't know if I know they did it with David, but that was one individual. But a campout at my house might prove interesting for some because I got punched. Boo would probably scare the daylights. Boo would be the type that would walk up to a tent, grab the top, and run off with it, and just enough to scare you half to death, and then you go inside the RV and never come out again. He's got that kind of mentality.
Right.
He's rotten. Seriously, he's rotten.
Well, I mean, when the group of the BFRO came down, I think the first night I had 8 of them here, and we walked around my property, and not much anything happened. But the second night, and that's the people got the YouTube channel, the Squatch team, they was there the second night, and we had them all around us that night. It was crazy.
Yeah, you know that Renee from Finding Bigfoot, she came out to Hanobi and stayed at the guy's property down there, and I was talking to him. She didn't stay the whole night. She told them, because they told her she could have her own, you know, the RV down there. They told her she could stay in that one. She called them and said, "Get me out of here." She got to be real.
She became a
no
believer. So she became a believer.
Oh yeah, she's been a believer for a long time. She's just, you know, hired to be a skeptic, but she's not a skeptic. She knows the real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that show was a lot of it was just, you know, production or whatever, entertainment.
No, I had fun watching it.
But getting out there, you know, stuff had to happen. Real stuff had to happen to them because you know they would go to hot spots and had to have.
Yeah.
But you know, most of it was free entertainment. Oh man, I wish they would bring back a good show. I might even get TV again if they did. Like what was that one called? That they used like the Monster Quest. Remember that one? That was,
I
was
like
a good
Monster
show.
Quest. I didn't like that blonde and that she made me crazy. But I like Monster Quest.
Oh, now I've done it.
What's her name? Autumn Williams. You know, I mean,
yeah.
That's scientific stuff. Okay, that's scientific stuff. You just got to have everything that's scientific. And I'm sorry, but I don't think that Sasquatch people are scientific. That's just the way it is.
Well, I don't guess none of. Well, I mean, like maybe Meldrum or Bindernagel or one of them, but the rest of us we're just working class, everyday people.
Yeah, if you want to go out there and you want to cast prints, and here's the deal, and everybody knows this, or you know.
I poke stuff with a stick. That's about as scientific as I get.
Yeah, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. But here, if I was to go to court and I had your footprints, cast of your footprints of your shoe, and I found mud on your shoe, okay, and I was able to determine that mud came from your yard or something like that, that would be enough proof for you to get convicted. I'm gonna tell you that right now. In fingerprints and stuff like that, they have all those. Okay, they have all those.
Yeah. We don't have the equipment. Oh, I would love to be backed by a billionaire, millionaire, or something like that.
Whether the government knows they're real or not is just a farce to me. You're wasting your time. They know it's there.
Oh, absolutely, they know. They have to.
They do, and there's too many people, if you listen to them, where the men in black have showed up and taken the body, you know, or that big forest fire out there in California where they found bodies of the Bigfoot.
Mount St. Helens.
That was a hoax. No, that was right. That was real.
Mount St. Helens, wasn't that another one?
Yeah, I'm a firefighter. I was a firefighter, and I've talked to people, and they were real. You know, this stuff was real, and the government has them, and they've had them. I think what they were trying to do is see if they can't find a way of turning them into some kind of
super soldier war machine or something known the government.
Right, and they're not going to tell you they exist. I don't care what anybody says, and I'm tired of going around the mulberry bush with that conversation that says the government know about it.
Well, the simple truth is they can't get them to pay taxes. So
yeah, they don't know anything. They don't know anything about humanity. That's something they can learn. But the rest of it, they know all about it. I don't want to hear it. You know, don't be fooled by fake news. Okay.
Man, pretty much it's all fake news.
We were born, but not yesterday.
I mean, there's way too many people that seen them that know they're real. I mean, you tell me the government with, you know, inexhaustible funding and all the scientists in the world don't know about this? Come on, really?
Hey, Rick, scroll back up a minute. Just a little bit. Get that off-white picture of Bigfoot. It's a tan-looking picture of a Bigfoot. Go back up. Up. Maybe not down.
You're on delay there.
Oh.
Off white.
Wait, CNN's not reliable? That's so cute. CNN bite.
CNN, yeah. Yeah, stick with them.
I don't watch any fake news. I don't want to hear that crap.
I don't watch none of it. I don't even have TV anymore. That disgusts me the way they did.
I don't know when to tell you to stop because, there it is, right there. female.
Carrying,
Across the state.
carrying a young one?
On the same line as teddy bears. Looks like a white Yeti on the far left, and then there's a tan picture. It looks like a mock picture of Patty.
Oh, this one.
Tan.
Alright. I think I got it. Why don't this magnifier won't stay up where I want it to? And then I can't never grab it. That's a drawing or a sketching or whatever.
Hey, I got a question for you.
What's up?
What do you think about the Gable film?
Oh, that's fake, ain't it? Are you talking about the Dogman thing?
That's what they say it is, but
I thought he was omitted. I thought they thoroughly debunked that one.
Okay, you see her face, how her face is not smooth, it looks chiseled. It looks hard and kind of harsh.
Yeah.
That's what Boo looks like.
Well, somebody did a thing with Patty that had all the hair took off of it. I can't remember who it was.
I don't know.
I'm afraid to type in Patty without hair. It's hard to say what will come up.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh.
It's awful. And why is that one shopping? I don't want to buy it. Here we go.
I hear howling outside.
Here?
Yeah, my house here in Arkansas, I hear howling.
Yeah, it's probably just wolves.
Quiet.
Hang on, it'll come up on your screen in a second. All right, there it is. This is like a reconstruction they did of Patty without hair.
Yeah, that's not what Boo looks like. The one closer to the left, the second one from the left with chiseled cheekbones, that's what Boo looks like, but with hair.
The second one?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, that's actually Patty
left.
without hair.
Yeah. The chiseled look is yeah, that's
Or no, that's from Scott Carpenter. I'm
small.
sorry. I told you wrong.
Boo's
No?
eyes aren't that close together either. They're further apart.
It does say Patty under that one. Which is the same as this one.
Now, see, that just looks like a Native American.
That one?
Yeah.
So that don't look like what you saw? Which I know the one you saw had hair.
No, the cheekbones, yeah. The cheekbones, yes. The going down the under the nose to the mouth, yes. The wide of the mouth, yes. But the eyes, definitely not.
Yeah, those eyes, they look pretty
not that close
close.
together and not that small. They were farther apart and they were much bigger.
Which, to me, I mean, that don't look like Patty at all without hair. I mean, the nose is totally different. The lips, even the eyes.
That doesn't look anything like Patty.
Yeah, it don't.
Guys in chat are being bad. You see that? They left me so bad. Look at that. Bad kid.
Calm down. Take a speech, y'all.
Bad kid.
How old do you think Boo is?
Honestly, I can't tell you. I wasn't there in the beginning, but I can't imagine he's much older than that. I mean, look at the size of him, and from what I gather, the size of his print, if you ask the people that know, even ask Bear or Kumbo, at that size, in that location, they're saying they're sub-adult. So I couldn't tell you, honestly. I don't know how long they live. So to give you a guesstimate, I couldn't, honestly. I would just say teenage, to me, some kind of teenager. Maybe in our years, if I had to think about the mentality, the way he acts, things he does, I would say definitely like 19, 20 years old, because that's how he acts. I mean, just at the age to know enough to get you in trouble, but young enough to still cause trouble. But heck, we don't even know how long they live. So
No, I brought up a page here that, this woman collected a lot of. She's passed now, Bobby Short. She collected a lot of stuff on them, and I think it's a pretty good page. I think I've showed this to you before.
yeah, I've seen that page. Downrange in human years, high school. Oh yeah, absolutely. Right before high school's over. That age, and I'm sure everybody that's got teenagers can relate. They think they know it all. They're attitudinal, but they're jokesters. That's about the age I think he is. Because that's what he does. Don't kick him off because he gets pretty mad. I'm in Central Arkansas, closer to the west. Actually, I'm right on the border. But yeah, I've got 11 grandkids. I've got 4 kids and 11 grandkids. Let me tell you something. I've had my share of teenagers. I'm about ready to pull my hair out. Things have changed so much. They're nothing like they used to be. I'd so much rather have a boy than a girl because then he can just punch and be done with, and the girls cry for the next 15 years. I don't know. Makes me crazy. But Boo acts like a teenager. Yeah, I'm close to Alma. And people around here are so quiet about Bigfoot, it's disgusting. I have not found anybody that's willing to talk about Bigfoot anywhere close to here.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I haven't really went around. One of these days I'm going to do that. I'm going to go talk to people about it.
Well, people get on my Facebook page and they're like, what? You believe in Bigfoot? I said, no, I don't believe in Bigfoot. I've seen Bigfoot. Dude, you're kidding me. You know, I mean, because they know me.
Yeah.
You know, they know how I am, and they think I'm intimidating, you know. And for me to say I believe in Bigfoot, they're like, what the heck are you talking about? You know, you're crazy.
Well, I haven't had nobody do that to me. Like my friends, people that know me. But I don't know. Maybe a lot of them had their own. Like my friends from Tennessee, whenever they came down here, they were skeptics before they got here. Afterwards, not so much.
Well, you know, there's an area just south of me, and that place is selling property like nobody's business, and they're selling it cheap. And originally, I asked, I have a realtor friend that I've been dealing with for the past 20 years, and I asked her, I said, why is this property going for so cheap? And she said, they've had a lot of problems out there. And I said, drugs? And she goes, well, it started out as drugs. And I said, and what was it after that? She goes, well, it started out moonshining, then it went to drugs. She goes, now they don't know what it is. She goes, animals are coming up missing, kids come up missing, blah, blah. I said, really? And so I drove down there to one of those areas, went back there. Oh my gosh, the tension was so thick you need a machete to drive down the road. I mean, seriously, I think that place is the pick.
Yeah, there's some places that's like that. I mean, I've heard of a few different places like that, like Purgatory or whatever.
Yeah,
they call that place.
I mean, it's just downright scary there, and like I said, I don't scare easy.
I wonder what it is about it. You know what I mean? Because I don't get that feeling from here.
I don't get that feeling either. Except
but maybe maybe it's where we're accepted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. All I know is that it's not an area. Even though the property is so cheap, I wouldn't buy it. I mean, I wouldn't buy it because I don't know what's causing that. If they had stills before that and then drugs after that, and what they got going on. I know that was one of the major. And this is hearsay. This is according to some of my firefighter friends. They said it was the #1 satanic capital of the world.
Where at?
It's here in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But the people that I know that have lived there or used to live there, they don't say that. They just say, it's different there. So I don't know what it is about it, but all I know is that you drive down the road and we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres of property that they're selling for next to nothing, and they can't get rid of it. People aren't buying it. What's going on down there that nobody wants to buy the property?
Right. I'm sure if you look into it, you'd hear.
On down there. So and then I tried looking up the paranormal people because I'm not into the paranormal stuff like that. that way. But I looked up paranormal people around here thinking I'd send somebody down there, and nobody would return my messages, so I have no idea what's down there.
Right.
I have no idea. Not something I want to be involved with.
Yeah, I don't get into all that. It says let the dead handle the dead. So
exactly.
that's good enough for me.
That's fine by me, Let the dead handle the dead. I want no part of it. But because I always looking for property at the time, and that was a great place that I had driven by. My husband and I had driven down there because I had to go to a fire meeting that we were having training, and it was on the backside of that area. So he drove me down there. I said, look at all this property for sale. He's like, yeah. He said, we got to look into here. And I couldn't believe how cheap the property was. But then when I started asking questions, they're like, no, you don't want to move down here. No, you don't want to do this. What the heck's going on? But, I mean, we're talking lots and lots and lots of acreage.
Right.
So you can keep the acreage. I think I'll just stay where I'm at. I really want that 160 acres on the backside of my property. I still can't get Sonobe Wildlife Management. I can't get the state to sell it to me.
One of these days, I'm going to be rich, and I'm going to buy more property around here. I would like you was talking about, go around the country and buy different places, especially around like national forest, because I think that's why national forests are there.
Acres.
Yeah, but if I'm rich, I want more. That's what I would invest in, is land and more scientific equipment. I like to have a fancy stick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not one of these
I'd like to buy
around.
some properties, like you said. Well, this will actually be a wildlife management area, and if I was able to buy it, because it's the last one left. There's none left on that whole area down there by my property. That was it. So why? I'm hoping that they sell it to me. If they sell it to me, now I have 200 acres, and that upper part there, Rick. I don't know if I told you this before, but the kids and I and Sandy took a day hike and walked up and through there, and I had to ask permission to get in there. But the first thing we saw was an X, where the X part of it was almost 30 foot in the air. The tree bark was stripped, and it was massive. I just stood there with my mouth hanging open, going, "Holy crap! How big is this Bigfoot?"
Yeah, it makes you wonder about the mountain giants and all that. What's that name for them? Gugway or whatever they are?
No, not the Gugway. No, it's Janasqua down here. The Gugway up there.
I can't keep up with all that.
But the point is that the guy down the street from me, remember I told you when I pulled over, because he had a shirt on that said Bigfoot research.
Yeah.
So I asked him, and he showed me pictures of the one in his that lives right there down by him. That's maybe about 5 miles from me. And he's got a 3-toe. A 3-toe is what? What's a 3-toe? Really. There's all kinds of... this makes me crazy. The whole area is just loaded. And if you talk to some of those people up on that mountain, not only are they tight-lipped about some of the things that they don't want to talk about, but you talk about Bigfoot, they're all going to tell you they see them. Every one of them.
That's weird, ain't it?
Loaded with them,
Yeah, it's hard to say what all's out there. I can't speak on it because, around here, I think I just got the boogers. But, I used to think, well, Dogman's not real. I kind of reconsidered that now. Just knowing that these boogers are real opens your mind up to other possibilities. Now, I'm not going to say something's real and I, have no clue if it is or not. It's like I try not to say that boogers do this.
Going back to Robert Dodson, he's not afraid of nothing. He ran out of those woods. His arms were so cut up because he took off running. He knew darn well what was out there, and that wasn't a booger. He had dogmen out there. He walked right into their lair.
Wow.
You should see those dogmen when he went down there. He had his camera going. He turned around and he set the camera down. He said he was going back. He was huffing and puffing. But when he got back, his arms were bloody.
Was it like a pack of them, or?
He don't run, unless he's chasing them. But he took off.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's possible. Anything's possible.
I've never seen one. I don't want to ever see one.
No, I don't either. I've never found any type of tracks that, would indicate that something like that's around here or anything else besides boogers. That's a physical thing to see a track. Something's made it. So,
Yeah.
and I try to keep my eyes on the ground. Well, I try to keep my eyes everywhere. I look up and all around on the ground a lot, and especially in the summer with snakes.
I'm the opposite. I've never spent really any part of my life looking down. I'm always looking straight up. You know, I look around me, and looking down is hard for me to do because I don't know. Well, being from the city, you know.
Yeah.
My thing was looking people eye to eye. I never put my head down. And my mom taught me that at a young age. Don't you ever cower. Don't you ever put your head down. So now I stare people down.
Well, I mean, but
they walk by me, I'm walking right in the eye.
It's a different story though. Whenever you're out in the woods, I mean, you have to. That's going back to the kill box. I think that's why a lot of trees are pulled down and things are put in the path so that distracts the deer.
If I don't look down in the woods, I'm gonna fall and break my neck.
Yeah, you're liable to step on a snake or anything.
Yeah, or the stupid snakes. I have to keep looking on the ground there. And then if you notice, I take my camera with me when I'm looking on the ground because it goes to the ground.
Yeah, it's hard to train yourself not to point the camera where you're looking, but a lot of times, if you point that camera, especially behind you, and I wish I need to rig up something where I can have a camera going behind me, like my GoPro or whatever. Bailey can't seem to keep it together long enough to get any good footage.
Remember I told you I was going to take my little mini cam and put it on the back of my hat, go out there? I couldn't do it. I felt guilty.
See, I've tried that. I had a little clip and I stuck it on the back of my hat, but it didn't do very good. I need a better harness. I've actually tied mine around me before and tried that, but I make my own harnesses.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I feel guilty doing anything. I set that thing out one night. It's so tiny you can barely see it. They didn't even bother coming up. They didn't come up. They didn't make any noise. They didn't do squat. And I was like, and now I feel guilty if I haven't put my audio recorder out in a while, but I couldn't do that camera, you know. And I told myself, I'm coming out. I've got my camera, you know, and I just go out walking and talking to them. And
right. I mean, I don't feel guilty for doing that, but you know, I don't try to hide anything. It's right there where they can see it on the back of my head or whatever. I don't try to hide cameras, or if I got an audio recorder, I'll put it out in plain sight. You know, my phone, whenever I put it outside, they don't like you. You know, it's all fine and dandy for them to be sneaky, but if you try to be sneaky, they don't like that at all.
And it's fine and dandy for them to throw things at you, but try throwing something back.
Yeah, that's one thing I won't do is throw people. Well, throw it back at them. Well, no, what if I hit one? You know, I mean, it's like you was talking about. They're like kids, and they're, you know, they can switch in an instant and go from, you know, not being aggressive to being mad. I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying?
It's like that teenager.
Yeah.
It's the mentality of a teenager. You know, they can dish it up, but they can't take it.
Yeah. Big pranksters and all that, and it's funny as long as they're doing it. But well, there's some adults that act like that too.
Well, yeah, I know they don't ever grow up. But there's a lady that lives down. She probably lives about 25, 30 miles south of my property, and she can take or her grandkids come to visit, and they throw a ball in the woods, and the Bigfoot throw it back, and she throws them back, and she shows people, you know, families and friends that come that know her. You know, you have to know her. And she'll take you out in the backyard, and she'll tell one kid, she goes, put the ball out there to him. And she'll call him, and she'll wait a few minutes, and then one of the kids will throw the ball out, and the ball comes flying back. And then she turns around, she looks up and smiles, and walks back in the house. You're like, okay, what the heck? But they don't have a problem with that. But Gabe was kicking around the soccer ball. Him and Lizzie, I bought a soccer ball and told them just to play with it in the front while, you know, I was sitting there camping. And they're kicking it back and forth. And then we got ready to go inside, and Gabe just gave it a nice big kick and threw it, you know, into the woods. And the next day it was busted. You know, they stepped on it and put a hole in it. I think they were trying to play soccer or something. I don't know what they were doing, but there's a great big hole in it. And so then I went to the store and bought another one, and we threw it out in the woods, and I haven't seen it since. It hasn't been back. So I think they like to play with a ball. I'm not sure.
Did you see the video I put up of my nephews? I bought them those balloon things.
Oh, those are adorable.
They're supposed to come down the 1st of April. I'm bringing them here the day after Resurrection Day, and I think I'm going to get them to bring those too. Could you imagine the boogers watching something like that? I bet they would get a kick out of this.
Yeah, probably like with what was it, Bear or Kumbo, where they wanted to come out and play in the field.
Yeah, the lightning bugs, bear.
Yeah, I bet you 10 to 1 the boogers, the younger one, were watching those things saying, "Ooh, let's go play, let's go play."
Yeah, look at them. They're colorful and everything. I mean, I bet they would trip out.
I wouldn't put one out in the woods because they'd probably destroy it. But yeah, look at those things. That is so much fun. Can you imagine us doing that? Oh, I'd probably break something.
Man, I would love to have one. Whenever I was a kid, I like to have one now, but they don't make them big enough. That'd be fun.
I love it. That's fun. Oh, it looks like fun. They're having a good time.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim, you missed all the conversation about food. We beat you to it.
Tim's gonna be hungry
Anyways,
now.
I don't know. Dang it! I can't wait till I get this uploaded. I wanted to show you that video, but it's gonna take a while before I get it uploaded. Probably won't be till tomorrow. But I gotta go through them because one part of it, the kids were all ready to have their conversation and they backed out. So I gotta go through the video and make sure I cut that part out. But then you listen to Sandy and she'll tell you all the stuff that's happened to her in the past year and a half, and then you can actually hear while one of them's talking. I don't remember which one. You can hear Howl in the background.
Yeah. So you got it on? You got it recorded?
Yeah, you can hear it on the audio. You can hear it on the video recorder.
Well, that's cool. So, did you try the words this weekend, or?
Did I try what? No.
No.
No, I always said the Halito, and I would just, when I got there, I say my own stuff in the Native American, and then I said Halito, I would say just Halito, and I did say, ask them to come in, and like I said, I didn't hear much, but then it started to rain, so the rain was a big deal, because when it's thundering and lightning, they don't come out. If it's just raining, I think they take baths in their showers or something, but you can still hear them out there. And what's really nice is when the water has, kind of pooled up on the rock, you can actually hear them splashing, walking through it. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, audio's pretty neat, man, and I like it because, whenever you know what's doing it, then it's really cool. I mean, you can kind of put the image in your head of what's going on. Like last night, they threw the rocks or whatever, and it's like we was talking about, they're pranksters and they like to have fun. I can just imagine one reaching down in the driveway there and grabbing a handful of rocks and tossing them up on the roof.
Yeah.
To get a reaction.
I had propane tanks in the back of my truck this time, and they were in there, and oh my gosh. You know what it sounds like when you move a propane tank because it's metal on metal? That squeal noise. I said, "Are you guys having fun?" My ears. I mean, it was just squealing my ears. But that's what I'm saying. They're jokesters. Why don't they push it over, knock it over, something like that? No, they gotta squeal it. They gotta turn it so it does that squeak noise. I'm like, oh my gosh, right up my spine. But I'm trying to find out something. I want to find out something else I can give to them. I don't know what that would be. I've tried just about everything, but I got to find something else.
Hey, I could maybe use some more of those birds.
JD says, give him a bowling ball. No, you're the life.
Yeah, that'd go through the camper.
No way. Hi, Tim. No way.
I was talking earlier, I think before we went live, about the Snow White getting the string and stuff. I'd like to see what they've thought about a kite. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But I've got too many trees by me, and a lot
I
of
do too.
I don't imagine they'd have much area to fly.
It'd be perfect though up at Angie's place though. She's on top of the mountain, cleared off.
But I want Sandy to put that audio recorder out because I really want to hear them playing that flute. Now I haven't heard it. I have a little blaster that you train dogs with. I've heard that before.
Yeah, let her borrow the flute. That'd be cool.
But they play with that flute, even though they broke it. They bit it off, but I threw it in the trash and they took it out. Yeah,
why don't you get it? I mean, leave your camera or your recorder up there. I bet she could get all kinds of good stuff where she's all the time up there.
Oh yeah, but the bad part is if I leave my recorder up there and it rains, Because I tried putting the plastic bag once for the rain, and it almost got.
Well, if she could put it, put it in like one, like the little change purse or whatever with the drawstrings on it, and hang it underneath the eave of her house where it'll keep out of the weather, or take it in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's going to rain, just take it in. But yeah, it's definitely not good for them. Rain.
Someone told me to put straps, like anything leather out. I forgot who said that, but they suggested I put something leather out. So I took two of my old belts, that I used to use on the fire department, and I took them and I cut the buckle part off, and I left those out there. They haven't touched them. I know they like noisemakers, but they only like noisemakers when we're not around, and they will. They love noisemakers, and they imitate them, too, after then they won't need them anymore, but they imitate them. Because that mouth pop that you do where you pop on the side of your mouth?
Uh-huh.
They make that noise, and it sounds close to the, like people say, rock klaxon. It doesn't sound like rock klaxon, it sounds like mouth pops.
Right.
Yeah.
I put out a bell before. I never got any results out of that. I don't know.
Yeah. I've left people. I leave marbles out there. They'll take the shooter, but they leave the rest of the marbles alone. They never bring the shooter back. They might change the colors of the little ones. If I leave one of every color, an orange, a white, a blue, a green, a red, and they'll take one or two or three of them, and then they'll bring those back and take the other ones. But they always take the shooter, the big one, and they never bring it back. So Sandy, when I got there this weekend, she bought me a bag of shooters. But, I didn't leave them out for them because my granddaughter made that whole little thing, and I didn't want to mess up what she made. So I left that alone.
Right.
And I got stung by a red wasp, and you should see me run around. Shooters, the great big ones, the big marbles. You have little marble.
Come on, Ski-Bo. You don't know that.
Marble, Ski-Bo?
Ski-Bo. I'm going to put you in timeout.
You're showing your age. Or I'm showing mine. Yeah, that's funny.
The big marble.
Anyways, yeah, they take those. They like those. I don't know what they do with them. Maybe they put them in their mouths and roll them around. I don't know. Maybe they throw them at stuff. Anyway, you look at it. They like the big marble. And they've taken, let's see, they didn't do anything with the shell. I left the shell actually from Florida that I brought back to Florida with me because I used to live in Florida. They didn't touch that. They didn't touch the belt. Let's see, what else did I put out there? I put out a little toy. They didn't touch it. It's a little like the engine, the plastic engine, train engine. They didn't touch that either. I don't know. I know
they're particular about things.
They steal the horse's apples. I know that.
Well, I told you what I sent Angie. They've been messing with them. I can send you some more of those too.
What?
The birds.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about putting that out someplace in my window so they could see it.
I mean, I've got some old ones laying around here. Papa literally made thousands of them.
Oh, I love mine. The kids like it too.
I'll send you a couple.
That's a good idea. That is a really good idea. How about a tambourine?
They might.
Yeah, that's something they could shake.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a really good idea. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I will get a tambourine and see what they do with that one. But it's really cool to listen in the middle of the night and hear something that you put out, hear the music. I bought Sandy some chimes, the metal ones, not the wood ones. And I left the chimes, she put the chimes out, and they knocked it down. They took it down and threw it on the ground.
What?
Yeah, they don't like the chimes at all.
They don't like what?
Chimes.
Signs?
Chimes that you hang up and the wind blows them and makes noise.
Oh, chimes. I thought you said signs. Okay.
No, chimes. They actually took them down and threw them. They weren't anywhere close to where she had them put up.
Huh.
So I don't think they like that noise. Or what if I get wood ones? Maybe if I get wood ones, they wouldn't mind it so much.
Maybe not.
It might interfere with the noise they make or something. I don't know.
I don't think
I've
ever.
They're so diverse. You don't have no idea what's going to tick these things off.
Yeah, I think like the natural stuff. I don't know. They might like it better. That's why I thought the birds would be cool. But I mean, I don't know. They seem to like about everything Angie puts out,
Yeah, that's Angie. That's what I'm
except for
saying. I wish
Jim.
I could, I kind of wish that I could find something that they like. I tried string. I put a piece of my hair up there, and they put a piece of their hair up there. So
Really?
yeah,
Huh.
I can get hair. If someone wants hair, I can get hair. Because I take no baby dolls will cry. Oh heck no. I can take a hair out of my head and put it on a branch, tie it around a branch so it looks like that moss, not the moss, but that silky stuff on limbs. And I can wrap it around there and go back to the same place the next day, and mine's gone. There's a white one or a black one there, so it's like they pull hair out of their heads and put it on
Huh.
the place.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I've never saved it, and I think maybe I should. I don't know. See, none of that stuff made any. It just never hit me until just recently. Why the heck why I wouldn't do that?
Right.
Why didn't I take casts of the perfect prints I saw on the back? And, I never got a hair sample. I'm listening to all these people talk about hair samples. And I could get a hair sample. Why didn't I ever just?
I'm thinking about getting some casting
material. My brain
material.
wasn't there. My brain was on. Oh my gosh, I got a Bigfoot.
I'm thinking about getting some casting material just so the next good track I find, I can cast it just to have one.
You want to try that?
Huh?
Think you want to try that? Getting prints?
Yeah, I'd like to have one. One that I found. Just as,
for yourself, though, right?
To put up on the mantle next to my stick.
Yeah. Nobody's going to do anything with it. So many people that have prints out there, really good prints. I've seen some really, really good prints. And what are they going to do with them? Nobody pays attention. Just send them to Jeff Meldrum.
I mean, that's the same.
I had a camera show you Jeff Meldrum's card that he gave you. He told me to call him.
Right. I mean, it's the same thing with like if you find like the hair or the feces or whatever. I mean, what are you going to do with it? Who do you trust to give it to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just got through watching this guy's video before I left for the mountains, and he's got this area that's full of great big, huge, round poo. And he said these are all Bigfoot. He's got tons of it. It's on YouTube here, and I was like, what the heck? I mean, they are big, too big to be a person, and definitely too big to be a bear. Don't even look like a bear's poop. It looks like a human poop.
Right.
I've caught scat. It looks like poop.
I found some this weekend that was just full of acorns. Some of them still had the paws on them and everything, and it might have been a deer, but it wasn't pelleted up or anything like a. It looked like it could have been a big buck, but it didn't look right. It could have been a bear.
I can imagine Bigfoot eating whole acorns, though. They're pretty sick.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess if they're hungry enough, I mean, this is the leanest part. I mean, this, it's getting ready to green up, and there's just nothing out there to eat right now.
I know. I wish there was something we could do to help that, but they don't need our help.
Oh, they're getting along just fine.
Yeah, I know. I kind of worry about mine, though.
I know that's a human emotion coming out, but
yeah, they have to go. They have to go someplace, and I hate it when they leave. So that's why I want, you just want to help them. Stay here. I'll feed you food. No, don't do it.
Exactly, don't do it.
You got to be so careful about that. I mean, it's so hard not to be human, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's just things that you don't think of, like the dog food, or even, I had a bird feeder that went empty overnight. You know what I'm saying? Just things you take for granted that you put out. I don't even feed the birds anymore. I used to like feeding the birds and watching them come to the feeder. But plus, I got cat now. I don't know. That probably wouldn't work out very good.
No. Well, so what do you do when you're at that position where you want to do something different, or you want to treat them differently, or you gotta be so careful.
Yeah, because once you know that they're there and they know that it's totally different.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Totally different.
It absolutely bites. I can't stand it because I like what's going on, and I like being up there, and I like the interactions, and then you think about the opposite side of it, or what happens if something changes, or what if you do something wrong, or it's just so much. so much to think about. So you get on these conversations or these rants with people, and you're talking about your interactions and what you want to do, and what do you think the best thing to do, and what these things are, and how big are they, how old are they, all these normal questions that everybody would ask. And you're sitting there going, I'm an idiot. I'm a complete idiot. I have no clue.
Well, I mean, the deal is, it's everything's different from place to place. I mean, there's similarities, but I guess what you call habituation sites, it's different. Like mine's totally different than Angie's, totally different than yours, but it's all the same in a way. But you know what I'm
What if we
saying?
met somebody online that had even something different than what we had?
Right.
I wish that's why I started that channel. I was kind of hoping that other people would get on there and say that's what's happening in their area, so we can compare notes. I mean, I think we'd learn so much more, don't you?
I do too. I need to get back on that more. I don't get on Facebook very much at all. I haven't posted anything on Facebook in over a month, I guess. Well, no, that's a lie. I posted something asking about the FLIR in the Beast group. But other than that, nothing else.
Well, I don't know. Anyways, I'm so excited. I'm happy about the interactions. I'm happy about what's happening to you out there. I mean, I know you've been saying the words a lot. I know that they're getting brazen, and I know for a fact that you're going to have a really good shot with that store camera.
Yeah, it's almost springtime. Get to get out.
That's the best I've seen so far.
Right.
No, seriously, other people have FLIR cameras. Yours is the best I've seen so far.
Well, I don't understand why more people don't put FLIR out there. I mean, you can still pick out stuff with the FLIR. I like to do it live on here because most of the time if I'm hanging out the window or something, you can't look at it or even walking around. It kills my arm to hold that camera up like that. I don't even do my regular camera. Like I said, I don't point my camera where I'm looking at probably half the time. And you can do that with a FLIR too. I'm kind of surprised it works so good during the day. It's supposed to snow here tomorrow night, and the next day we're supposed to get snow, and I'm kind of interested how it'll do in snow, but after that it can quit snowing and spring can come. I mean, I'm tickled to death that like you got to go to your property, and then Angie got to get out and do stuff, and spring's about here.
I don't know.
Whenever it drains up, they get more active here in the spring. I mean, I'm pretty excited.
They get more active up at my place right before winter hits.
Well, they do that here too, but it's like they get excited. There's more food out there in the spring, and they get more excited. But yeah, they do in the fall. They get excited here too. I mean,
you know what I just said?
What?
They're asking how old you are in chat.
I'm 41.
There, you're wrong. Ha ha ha. Oh yeah, no, it's 37. Justin said Rick is between 37 and 42. I'm guessing. Nice job.
Yep, he's right. But I don't know. Anybody got any questions for Miss D? And thank you, D, for coming on. I'm gonna have to wrap this up and get me a shower and get in bed.
Yeah, it's 1:30 there.
Yeah, 1:37. But I'm glad you got to go out and had a good weekend.
If people don't know me, don't know how old I am, do they? Oh yeah.
Put a GPS and it's what I don't.
Questions, so.
I don't have a GPS.
Oh, I have a GPS, but I wouldn't put it out there for him. I don't have any electricity.
I don't think you'd be able to catch up with him anyway. Why won't this let me scroll up on the chat?
Here, put this in your pocket so I can check you. No. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I wish I was. The one thing I do is I wish I was younger. I'd be out there. Oh boy, would I be out there?
Oh God, I wish I would have known about these things 20 years ago.
Yeah, me too.
That would be awesome.
Because I'm telling you, I would have so much fun out there. I mean, I'm still young enough to where I can do stuff, but I won't be able to do it for forever. And I'm healthy enough to get out there with the best of them. But I just, I don't want it to completely consume me because my husband will probably divorce me.
Right.
I've got a really good hubby. But I know he can't handle it. Honestly, he's scared. He's and my grandson's starting to get that way. You know, the big boy I got, you know, my 14-year-old is 6 foot.
Yeah.
He's scared. He was scared this weekend. That's one of the problems I have with him because he said, "Go get your gun. Go get your gun." I said, "What is your problem?"
Well, I mean,
All of a sudden he's scared.
that's natural, but he's just, you gotta get used to him. You can't live your life in fear of anything. You know what I'm saying? Only fear God.
Yeah.
And, that's it. I mean, it's fine to be scared of something or afraid or whatever, but don't let that rule your life.
Yeah. Well, he's at that age. He's got a girlfriend now, and he just wants to go.
Oh yeah,
home.
he's a teenager. That's
Blah.
probably what was behind it. He was ready to quit camping. He wants to get back to that girl.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly it. He didn't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
He goes, yo lady, how long did you first see one on accident? Hey Brown, I saw my first one we're going on 4 years now. First time I saw it was in Kenobi.
Well, see, and that's funny too, because both you, me, and Angie, and I know a few more people that's only realized this within the last 4 or 5 years. So I think
when I was a kid, when I was 15 years old, we were down in the valley all the time. You know, I used to kick the boys out of the fort, and me and my female friends were down there, and we took over their fort, and we thought that the boys were trying to scare us one night because we kept getting rocks pummeled. What we did was there was 4 walls, so most of them were like cardboard and pieces of wood and stuff all put together, and then the roof was just a metal sheet. You know, it wasn't very big. It was really pretty tiny, just big enough for 4 of us kids in there. But and that was our little fort, and it was right by an overpass, so there was a lot of noise and stuff. But we were down there one night, and my mom and the girls I hung out with, their mom, we would always lie and say we were staying at each other's houses. So my mom never checked up on us, and we'd go stay down there for the weekend and sleep down there. And this one night, we started getting pummeled by rocks, and I went outside and I started yelling because I thought it was the boys. And I'm out there and I said, just keep it up, we're going to tear down your fort. Now, of course, all of these empty front. And I go back inside, and then then they started getting bigger. The rocks started getting bigger. And I didn't know anything. And as God is my witness, I'd never seen the Bigfoot movies when I was a kid. I've never seen them. I didn't know anything about this. Just until a few years ago. I never even heard of it. I don't know what planet I was on, but nobody's ever mentioned Bigfoot in the hood. Sorry.
Right.
It just wasn't that way. So I didn't know anything about it. But now that I look back, and I was talking to Vic Pundit one night, and I said, that now that makes sense to me.
Yeah. They explain a lot, don't they?
What?
I said they explain a lot. Like we was talking earlier, me and the berry patch, or seeing the thing on the side of the road at time. I mean, being followed out of the woods, they explain a lot. Knowing that they're real now explains a lot of things that's happened in the past.
Right. Skibo says, but you have been hearing things, anything like slaps on the house to stories about boogers and such. Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that, but the slaps on the house here, according to somebody I was talking to, they said that the boogers could follow me home, and it's a 2.5-hour drive, so I don't know how long it would take them to come if they wanted to, but slaps on the houses have been happening for a long time. I just never associated it with Bigfoot, so I never thought about Bigfoot, I mean, never.
Right.
How was I supposed to know? But once I started doing the research, when I heard howls, I took my son outside one night to listen to it, and he was like, Mom, what is that? I had no idea. And of course, my son was never in the we were, I raised my kids in the city, so they didn't spend a lot of time in the woods when they were younger. And so for that howl, I came inside and got on YouTube and started listening to animals, and I told you I do that with my grandkids. I did that with my kids too. Whatever animals, wild animals were in the area, I always made them listen to the sounds, even if we had to go to a museum or something so they could listen to them, so they would know what because you always have some kind of, like in Florida, I didn't know anything about the skunk ape, but you had alligators and stuff. Have you ever heard of an alligator?
Have I ever heard of alligators?
Yeah.
Well, sure.
They make noises.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
And if you don't know what those noises are, and you're walking through the woods, down there in Florida, you better know what the noises they make are. So, that's what I would do is I'd have the kids listen to that kind of stuff.
Right.
But here, we listened to everything, and I couldn't find anything.
Right.
Nothing that made that noise. That was such a...
Oh, I've searched and searched and searched for noises on the internet and cannot find, like that scream I heard that night.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like that.
Right. Because it wasn't a cougar making that noise.
No. Far from
it. It wasn't
it.
a bobcat.
Far from it.
Or
It makes
or a bird.
the buzzing noise. I've never seen anything. There's another noise out there I can't find it. I don't know what it is.
Right. Right.
Pretty good. Like the chatter, the pops and the clicks I call the bush talk or whatever. I mean, that's, what does that? There's no known animal that does that.
It's freaky. It's absolutely freaky.
And to have one on both sides of me, within 10 yards of me, laying down in the back of my truck camping, and then just it's like a conversation back and forth. It was crazy. I wish to God I would have got that recorded. I mean, they was just so close. If I'd had the FLIR that night, it would have been on.
Yeah, I'm listening to you and trying to read this at the same time. This is going.
Oh Lord, really, y'all, she's a blonde.
You be quiet. Yes, I'm a blonde. Anyways, that's what I'm talking about, though. Yeah, that I did have a lot of those. That's what that is moments, but I didn't want to admit to it. Before I saw my first one, I didn't want to admit to it. Good night. I have to say good night. Anyway, it's kind of hard to admit to something if you never believed in it. JD, are you talking about light foxfires? Are you talking about lights, like northern lights, foxfire? What are you talking about?
No, it's like a fungus that grows on the ground. It's foxfire. You never seen it? It glows in the dark. It's pretty cool. There's actually a place around here called Foxfire. It's
what is it?
That's like some kind of park or something.
No, I have no idea. No, my answer is no. I have no idea. Brown Dwarf says no naked jokes tonight, Rick. What I missed?
Yeah, he was getting a little out of line.
Better behave, Brown. You're gonna get yourself in trouble.
There's some pictures of it here that I don't know. That's glowing mushrooms, but it's a fungus that it glows. It's pretty.
Oh, the fungus that glows.
Yeah. So I mean, people talk about boogers' eyes illuminating or whatever, and there's other things in nature that does that. Like around here, we've got glowworms.
Yeah.
And the foxfire. Then you got different species of fish that do it. I mean, there's just...
Yeah, fish do it, but no, I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like that glow ever.
Lightning bugs.
I've seen the Boo's daddy's eyes glow. I saw that orb that one time. Not that that's something I want to admit to, but I did see it, so I can't deny it. Don't know what it is. Don't know anything about it, but I did see it. As God is my witness, I did see it. But I couldn't tell you anything about it. These things that you're showing, these neon-looking things, I've never seen any of that stuff there, so I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's fun. I didn't know there was...
When Big Daddy was standing at my, by my window there, there was moonshine, but the moon that was shining was behind him, so it wouldn't have been glowing into his eyes. Okay?
Right.
So that if it was in front of him, I could see it glowing. And I'm not going to say, that I don't know enough about it. I will just tell you this: his eyes were a light yellow, amberish color. They weren't round; they were weird shaped, just exactly like the ones you see on Robert Dobson's Bigfoot is tipped off video. Exactly like that. I mean, identical. It's like he had the same one in my property. That big and that kind of eyes. And it just freaked me the heck out. But they definitely were bright. They were not, muted or not. They were definitely bright. Like they were glowing.
Oh, there's a glowworm. I remember that thing.
Do what?
Glowworm.
Oh, like ladybugs.
I found them around here. Yeah, but they're a worm, like a larvae or whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
Last year, I didn't know we had them around here. Last year, we was up riding on four-wheelers whenever my cousin came down with his son, and we sat up there on the ridge line, and I was going to do some calls, and we turned off all the lights, and we kept seeing the ground was glowing here and there. What is that? We got to look, and these little worms glowing.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I
Hey,
think.
Brown says I can get you orbs on key here any day here. Really? I've seen some of those pictures of the orbs. It's just downright freaky.
I've never seen them here. I don't know.
Well, like I said, I've never seen them at my property, but I did see them in Honolulu.
Right. And I mean, who knows what they are? This is what I saw. This worm right here.
And if they were always around the Bigfoot, then why don't I see them every time I see Bigfoot? You know what I'm saying?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, why, if orbs are connected with Bigfoot, why then every time I see Bigfoot would I not see the orbs?
Right, and that's why I've never seen them here, and like Angie, she's never seen them. People that I know haven't seen them, so I don't know. And they might be, who knows? But I don't think they are. I don't know what they are. I've never seen them.
I promise you, like I said, as my witness, I promise you I saw one, but I couldn't tell you anything about it except for it was round and it moved. When we moved, it moved, and if I moved closer, it moved back, and if I moved back, it moved closer. It was a translucent whitish color with a blue hue on the outside. And all of us just stood there with our mouths hanging to the ground saying, what the heck? Originally, I first thought it was lights on a car or something on the side of the mountain there,
Right.
And, but it kept getting closer and closer, and I kept asking. I asked the guy that we were with, I said, what the heck is that? Is there a light? Is there a street up there? And he said, yeah. And I said, so is that an ATV light? I said, how come there's only one? He's missing a headlight. He goes, I don't think that's what that is. And it kept getting closer and closer. And then he walked up to the woods. And I started walking up behind him. And all of a sudden that thing backed up. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It wasn't at a distance like I thought it was. It was right there in the woods. Right on the wood line. And that freaked me out. I mean, literally freaked me out. I had never seen one before.
I mean, if they're real, I'd like to see one. I'd definitely try to check that out.
But why would you want to see one? What the heck are they?
Well, I mean, if they're real, if they're around here, I'd like to see it.
I don't want to see anything other than what I've already seen. I'm done. I'm good.
If it's out there, I'd like to know about it. And to be a knower, I have to see it.
Yeah, well, what do you want? You want to see a dog man too? They're out there.
I mean, if they're out there, if they're around, I'd like to know about it.
What? No thanks.
Well, I'd rather know than not know.
I think I'd rather not know. What about
I want to know all the answers. I want to know all the truth and all the answers.
All right. What about little people? Believe in little people?
I guess it's possible. I mean, why not? I've never seen one, so.
Yeah, me either.
I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have seen them, so you can't discount them. That is so cool.
And a friend of mine said that he walked out to this property that one of his friends were him and his wife or girlfriend were going to buy, and I guess they were renting for a while, and they ended up moving because they kept having problems there, and so my friend was out there because he's a researcher and he thought it was a Bigfoot, so he went out there and he said he saw this little person that actually looked like a troll sitting on a wood stump with a pipe hanging out of his mouth, and I started laughing. He goes, "Dee, I'm telling you the truth." And I said, "You're lying." And he goes, "I'm telling you the God's truth." And I said, He said, "Oh yeah." I said, "No way." I mean, for the life of me, I can't put that in my head, but he said that he actually saw one.
Well,
I've never seen little people.
I seen something here one time that was just plumb strange. Right across the creek in the pines, there's a bunch of rocks over there, and there's like small caves. And I was walking up there. That's where I had to give stumps and all that at. And I was walking up there, and I seen tracks, and they looked like small barefoot tracks. And I can't remember if I got a video of this or not, but it looked like he had walked out the cave or the hole or whatever, took a pee, turned around and walked back to the hole.
What?
No, I'm not. I know I took pictures of it and shared it. I don't know where the pictures are now. It's on a card somewhere. But I shared them in the Outlaw, and everybody's like, "Oh, don't mess with the little people," and da da da. I thought, man, I'm not scared of a little person. I'll punt that little sucker. But apparently they're not. They're not very nice.
Yeah, drop kicking, right? You come back to haunt you or something? I don't know. That's just scary, isn't it?
I can't believe some of the old videos. I need to go through some of these and delete a bunch of them, I guess.
Oh, don't delete them until after I'm done, because I'm going back and look at some of the other ones.
Well, some of them don't have nothing to do. Yeah, like these. I don't need those on there.
I'll let you know when I'm done.
I mean, some of them's just not important. Just mindless ramblings of a madman.
Oh. Okay, whatever you say. Yeah, but there are some pretty good ones out there that you got, honestly. You can, I like going out and seeing here, especially when you take your time and you show it. That my favorite one so far is when they threw the rock.
Which time?
The big rock. You said it threw a big rock, and it was funny because you should hear your voice. It cracked about 3 octaves.
Yeah, I got kind of hairy out there.
Yeah, it can be pretty scary out there. That's why I said people don't realize.
They went through a phase where they threw a lot of rocks.
Night Sound, Ranger. Yeah, well, I don't know why they throw the rocks, except there's when they want you out of the area. They don't usually throw rocks. They throw little sticks at my window when they want my attention, but they don't throw rocks. I think I've only had one rock thrown at me, and that was on Black Mountain. I went to Black Mountain, and that was a mistake.
Well, besides the ones that they throw on the roofs around here, and I think they just do that to get my attention, the only time they've been thrown around me while I'm out is up Stinky Holler, except for the one that hit the 4-wheeler that time.
But why?
I think because the main group was on up that holler and they was distracting me or whatever. I mean, I've had trees pushed down and everything that day. And that's also after the rock throwing deals, whenever I had that sighting up there, I heard the whoop up there, and I went to debunk another video I had where somebody said something was in there, and I thought it was a shadow, so I was like, well, I'll just go up there and film it again. And I went, right instead of left, and that one took off across the trail. And that's one of the only times I didn't have my camera going, because the battery was about dead. And I wanted to film that up there. Yeah. I mean, I've got all kinds of videos that, I'll go through a bunch of them and delete them. I've got a bunch of them saved up that I haven't even looked at. But most of the time, whenever I know they're around, I'll go through them or put them up and let people watch or whatever. That's why I've got so many videos.
Hey, guys, I found that video of the poop. It's called Sierra Project 2017 Research, a must-see. And he's got piles of poop everywhere in this area. He says they're all Bigfoot. Just let me know so people ask. That's what it is. Bigfoot poop.
All right. He's found piles of it.
This guy's walking around showing you these great big huge piles of poop, and he's going through them with sticks. So.
He's poking with a stick?
You what?
Did you say he's poking him with a stick?
Yep, he's poking him with a stick.
Oh, well, sounds like he's doing the right thing then.
Did he get a stick from you?
He probably learned it from me.
Whatever.
I'm a pioneer in poking stuff with a stick, I'm sure. Nobody throughout history's ever thought of that before.
I'm sure. Anyway, send me some more of those birds. I'll put them out and see what they do. I think I want one on the side of my RV where they gave me a flower. I mean, a flower. They gave me a feather.
A feather?
Yeah. They gave me a feather, a little brown. I don't know what kind of bird it is, but they gave me a little feather, and they left it on my porch set.
For some reason, this won't let me click on anything and scroll up. I don't understand it.
I don't know. I don't know.
But you can go back and click on it whenever the video goes up on YouTube and get the link to go through it.
Just remember, it just says Sierra Project 2017. It just says a must see, and it shows the guy bending down with poop on the ground or whatever. It wasn't a turkey feather; it was too small. I don't know. I know it was a bird, but I don't know what kind of bird it was. And I would say it was probably only about 4 inches long, but it was sitting right on the steps when I got there. They've actually stuck it in the vents before. I get back even from going to the grocery store because I have to drive 15 miles to go to the grocery store. But
what was the name of the video again?
It's called Sierra Project 2017 Research. And then the last part of it says a must-see video 2 of 2. And he's bending down looking at poop all over the ground. No, not chicken. Sparrow, maybe, yeah. I have no idea.
I'll have to click on the link after this.
The third feather they left me, and the first rock they left me was beautiful. Part of it was shale, and then the other one had quartz in it. Maybe are your videos at night in the woods? Most of mine are during the day. That's just Sue. I don't go out at night because they don't want me out at night. They basically just stand around until I go inside. I go inside. As soon as I close that door, they're in my front yard.
What's the channel name? Because I can't find that video on here.
Your project?
Yeah.
Dan Shirley. Dan Shirley. Sorry, guys.
You must see 2 of 2 or 1 of 2.
It says 2 of 2. Just go to Dan Shirley.
I found it. I've got it on here, and it's got 1 of 2 and then 2 of 2.
All right, 2 of 2 is it.
2 of 2? Okay. Which I'm not going to play it right now without the guy's permission or anything. But
yeah, I had to look down there, and I didn't realize it said Dan Shirley. I just thought Sierra Project. But yeah, it says Dan Shirley, so you go to his channel and then look for Sierra Project 2017. A must-see.
Yeah, I found it. You put the link in the chat, so
that's it right there.
Too.
Sierra Project. And that first one there where he's got his finger, like he's going to show you something, awesome, and there's just poop all over the place.
Well, I'm just glad he poked it with a stick. That was very sciencey of him.
It's funny.
Okay, well, Dee, I appreciate you joining me. You make it easy. I can just sit here and be quiet and let you talk.
No, you need to go. You need to go to bed. We've been going 3 hours now.
I need to get a shower. Is what I need to do. I smell like a skunk ape after work.
No, I don't have to work tomorrow, so. You do.
Dee, I appreciate it. Chat, I appreciate y'all coming over.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. Our jaw jack situation here. I'll get the videos up tonight, hopefully.
Good deal.
I think I have 2 of them. They'll be short and sweet, but anyways, go back and if Rick, if you want to, you can ask that guy to look at it, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I'll send him a link to that for sure, and see what see what he thinks.
Yeah.
He seems to be running out of breakdown videos. Now he's going after some not so honest people, I guess you could say.
Who is?
Bigfoot Tony.
He's going after somebody?
Well, I mean, somebody's made us think about one of his friends, and they've kind of called him out on some stuff, but whatever.
Okay. All right, I don't know anything about that, but all right.
Oh, what happened?
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Be safe out there. Have fun. God bless. Be good.
Thank y'all, and I'll end the stream, and then I'll hang up with you, Dee.
Yeah,
Y'all have a good night.